What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Hooray!
This week, it's been a long road with you, my friend, but it's time to be done watching these movies. Please, God.
We're at the end of the road.
Nando,
We're at the end of the quarter-mile road.
Watching these movies again, then you could have had an assonance with friend, and it would have sounded...
Oh, yeah. That's true. I forgot, because I was just trying to think of what the actual one is, and I couldn't remember, because I forgot.
I forget
my
the start
bad.
of it,
I resigned from the
"See you
podcast.
again."
I know
Well, DJ, what do you want to do with our new podcast?
Yeah.
It's been a long way without you, my friend. I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Yeah, there we go. That's how you know DJ is the realest Fast and Furious fan.
That's true.
Us.
Or the realist. Right. Who sang that song? Lil Wayne?
Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
talk about family when family's all that we got. God, yeah. I used to know that song, but
it played a lot on the radio. So
was this not once you and Nando's go-to karaoke song?
No, that was the other one. That was
one.
One shot.
Yeah.
Everything that's on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own that one. That's the one.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about this new one. Does the new one have a song?
There's 9? The credit song, but no, that was already a song. I don't think it has a song.
Right, the next one that's going to come out, right? I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah,
so, yeah, we'll see. But I don't think any song for me has topped that one, number 5. Or number 6, excuse me. I like the third one. Mm-hmm. Tokyo Drift one. I think that
I feel like that's sick. Everyone's always their top, right?
It's up there. It's Too Fast, Too Furious, that, and the 6th one. But some people like 7 because the movie tricked them, but I don't think it's that fun of a song. I don't know. Wow, anyway, guys,
hot take.
We're talking about another movie. We're not talking about 1. We're not talking about 2. We're not talking about 3. We're not talking about 4. We're not talking about 5. We're not talking about 6. We're not talking about 7. We're talking about 8. Ooh. Fate of the Furious.
Or the international title, which is Fast and Furious 8.
Oh, wait, I thought we were talking about Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Diggins,
no.
You played yourself.
You did.
No.
You're like a red bearded man. You're made a fool of left and right, you know?
Yeah. And it's
all my roles, just bad things happen to me.
And we're not sure if you can act, but, we think so? We're like, yeah, he can act. Right?
I mean, to be fair, I think that guy survives Game of Thrones, right? He's, does okay.
Yeah, it's true. Is that the bar that we're, if you survive Game of Thrones, yeah.
Well, and I would assume Brienne survives Game of Thrones, too, right? So, they could have happily ever after the books, or after the show ends.
Yeah, it's true.
No reason not to. So, anyway... Guys, we're talking about Fast and Furious 8, Fate of the Furious, the dumbest name so far, but not yet. We're going to have some dumber ones, it seems
Fast 10 your seatbelts. That's going to be...
Yeah.
No, you keep saying it, and I'm worried you're going to speak it into reality.
No, it's going to be Fast 10 your seatbelts. I'm so ready.
See, I feel like Fast 10 your seatbelts is tricky because it's a weird title. But
you can't do Fast 10 Furious, right? That doesn't make sense.
Oh, wait, yes you can. That's perfect. Fast 10 Furious? That's like Fast and Furious.
But it's...
Oh, my God.
Fast 10... I don't know, I like Fast 10 your seatbelts better.
I think Fast 10 your seatbelts is fun. I think that would be the tagline, you know?
All right,
Fast 10 Furious.
Nando, you're batting 1,000 so far on future movie titles, as
That's right.
evidenced by the Aquaman movie, and I am not...
That.
So what is your prediction then? And then we could revisit this in, a year or two whenever they announce it.
So it's tough, right? Because Fast and Furious, Fast 10 Furious is still super clunky, but it is less clunky than Fast 10 your seatbelts. However, you could also make the I and the O in Furious into a 10 right?
God.
Like Furtenus, like Fanforstic. Yeah, like you could do that. I don't think they would. I feel like it will be called. So we got F9. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, this is tricky.
Please, Nando, it's pronounced F9.
F9, right? I think it'll be. Ooh, what if it's like Fast X or something?
Ooh, that
right, like
Jason
my God.
the 10th Friday the 13th movie.
That's right, and then you could get a crossover with Xander Cage, make it a Triple X movie.
I was just thinking that. That's brilliant.
These movies are pretty much Triple X movies, right? Like
the same guy.
Yeah, and it's the same.
Cube, but whatever.
His skill set fits way closer to he does all kinds of martial arts and secret agency stuff, and these guys drive cars and steal DVD players. So it kind of seems like between movies 3 and 4, Dominic Toretto was killed and replaced by his cousin Xander Cage, you know, who also picked up stunt driving on the weekends to get up to speed. But they're all Supermen now. I don't know. I think it'll be called Fast and Furious X. I honestly do.
Okay.
I didn't think that before, but now I think so. I think it will be Fast 10. Your seatbelts will be like the subheading or something. That'll be in the trailer.
Internet title.
Yeah, we'll know it's that. It'll be like a Now You See Me situation, but I don't think they can ignore an X that is an option.
Right. They can't help themselves, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But guys, we got to talk about Fast 8, Fate of the Furious.
Yes.
Even though it is not the Fate of the Furious.
Wait, real quick. Did you guys hear the big Fast and Furious news this week?
Oh, I did not.
No. What is it?
Vin Diesel, in an interview about F9, said that there's going to be 2 more movies and then the saga's over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said that after 7 too. And then the Universal said, no, we're going to keep doing it.
Oh, I in no way believe him. But it is news that happened.
See. All right, fair enough.
I believe it. I mean, I believe that he said it. And also, I feel like the Fast saga might be over, but the Furious saga might be back. You know, that'll be the one with Dom's kid and whatever.
Yeah, Brian has to be involved.
They might move on from Dominic Toretto, which will only be to the good of this franchise. But there's no way they're giving up this cash cow.
I agree. I think we'll get a bazillion of these. I don't know. Is a Hobbs and Shaw 2 on the docket?
I mean, sure, why not? 2
Hobbs, 2 Shaw? Well, I'm wondering, because I feel like I haven't heard anything about it.
It made far too much money for it not to be.
Right?
That's true.
I feel like The Rock has a lot of projects right now, so I could see him just being like, we'll get to it when we get to it. But also, I could see Universal being like, no, let's make so many. Let's make as many as we can. Because we have Ryan Reynolds in these movies. We keep forgetting. But he's part of this universe. And also, he's definitely secretly the bad guy. So, there's a lot of road to run there. But, guys, we're talking about Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, we are.
Not Deadpool, because that has Ryan Reynolds. Not The Hitman's Bodyguard. Not Free Guy. Also Ryan Reynolds pictures. What if Ryan Reynolds popped into these and was just like, Dom, you need my help? And he'd be like, probably. And then they'd, drive a garbage truck or something.
What's the movie where Ryan Reynolds kind of has a cameo where he's like a government agent guy and he comes to recruit
Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah, that's what
I'm
this
talking
whole
about.
bit has been about.
Yeah, it's way too long, but that's the bit.
Oh no.
Anyway, moving on, guys. Fate of the Furious, Fast 8, your seatbelts. What do you guys think? Who starts this week?
Oh, I get to do the thingy.
You're the judge?
DJ,
all right.
DJ won last week, so he gets to do IMDb.
Oh my gosh, and am I in hell or whatever? The doghouse?
I'm the perennial... You lost last week. You lost, so you get to pick.
All right, I'm going to go first. I actually thought about this on my way back from getting food.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. After a mysterious hacker named Cypher threatens world destruction or something, the Fast family has to go up against the one thing they could never fight, a member of their own. Dom. It's clunky, but I think that's what I'm going with.
All right, Diggins?
I think it's something along the lines of the crew, La Familia, must team up with old adversary Deckard Shaw to take down the one foe too dangerous for them to handle, Dominic Toretto.
Yeah, Nando got it.
All right, there we go. What was it?
It was clunky, but you had the tenor of it more. So you got the word mysterious, which was like pretty key.
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
a single element of her character. How could I not?
like, and again, like,
Excuse
I'll read
you,
it, and then you
Nando.
guys can evaluate.
If you wanted the single element of her character, you should have said really bad pseudo dreads.
Yeah, that's true. Just you wait until Fun 9, baby. The hair, you thought the hair couldn't get worse, but it can.
All right, let me read this and you guys can tell me
Yeah.
whether you agree or disagree.
I agree.
When
I
a
think
mysterious woman seduces Dominic Toretto into the world of terrorism and a betrayal of those closest to him, the crew face trials that will test them as never before.
Okay.
So I think you were closer to where it was at.
Yeah, no,
Or-
Nando definitely won. He mentioned Cypher and the woman. I left that part out intentionally. So, yeah, I think that's a Nando's win.
As far as trials that they've never faced before, I mean, trials that are technically different from the trials they've faced before, but might as well be the same. I don't think there's any trials.
Also, I don't think Dom needed to be seduced into terrorism. He's done some big terrorisms in the past.
That's true. But he's done them for the United States government, so it's all right. But when he does terrorisms against...
He definitely did some terrorisms that were not for the United States government before 7.
It's a good point. It's an interesting dilemma the franchise has. Where do you go after Fast 7, where Brian is gone? He's left he has left the family for obvious reasons, but then it's like they all kind of still want to keep doing this, but they don't have any good reason to. And that's what we got. Do I get to go first?
Actually, yes, you do. So, yeah, take it away.
Easily my least favorite Fast and Furious movie. I think I liked it less than 4, and I don't think 4 is that great. Yeah, I think this one doesn't work for me at all. And I think all of the parts of it there's parts of it that I think on a technical level are kind of impressive. Mostly the hand-to-hand fighting, which is, again, just like the complete opposite of what I want from this franchise. So I can't knock them for... I guess I can knock them for not being Fast and Furious movies because I think the car chases are boring. But I gotta at least give him credit. Like, all the stuff where pretty much everything with Shaw was great. He was the best part of the movie for me. And Jason Statham is really good at being good in movies when he wants to. It's surprising going back and thinking about, like, The Meg and this and stuff. And it's like, man, he can fucking... He's got it. But overall, I think this movie is... I don't even think it's way too long, because I don't think that's it. I think there's way too much nothing in the middle. I don't care about the Dom thing. I think Cypher... I know we joked about... I think all of the... It's so funny. I don't think the Fast and Furious movies have ever had one movie with a good villain that works with the movie. I think the fun thing about Deckard Shaw is that he almost works against the Fast and Furious movie, but like he's definitely the most compelling villain. But we've made 9 of these, and I guess Idris Elba honestly might be the best villain out of all of them. But they're also like nothing, and Cypher is not the most nothing necessarily, but I do think she's the most nothing villain that is given the most to do. So I found myself very bored by her, Little Nobody, all the bullshit with him, and most of the family stuff. But like, I'll never, I'll never not be able to watch Tyrese and have a little bit of fun. But like, I don't think there was anything quite amazing there. I don't know. I think Dom is fun. It's very fun to watch Vin Diesel act. And I think all of the twistiness is dumb. Honestly, the movie peaks for me 5 minutes in. I liked all the stuff in Cuba. And that's like a Fast and Furious movie. I think if you had left that out, I would have been a little bit more forgiving of this movie. It's just like, I don't know, man, it's Mission Impossible. That's what they want to be, right? And they're doing that. But then it's like, now this could be fun car racing movies. They have it in the DNA. Just his cousin could get just like caught up by gangsters in Cuba and whatever. But I don't know. I think this franchise has always had a problem with scale and like when is it too much and when does the balance fall out of whack, and they've been walking a very difficult tightrope. 7 is not my favorite, but I think 7 more or less works. But I think this is where, for me, it falls off. And yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. Also, way too much CGI.
Yes. Yeah, I
but,
totally agree.
You know, sometimes CGI is fine. And I say that knowing that, like, most of these, you know, most of the car chase scenes and everything past 3 have been mostly CGI. Because that's how movies are made. But way too much CGI where it's like, yeah, I mean, they probably didn't actually have a submarine, whereas it's like use the CGI to make the cars look extra cool. Yeah, I don't mind that as much, but yeah, it sticks out. Anyway, that's me. Didn't really love it. I don't think it's the worst movie ever or anything like that, but I do think as far as the Fast and Furious movies go, it's the one I'm the least interested in and the one I'm least willing to give any, like, be like, it goes so far from what the Fast and Furious movies are when they work for me that I just can't enjoy it as one of them. DJ or Diggins? What about you? Which one of you goes next? I can't remember.
I'll let Diggins go.
Let him go.
So I'm kind of baffled that you can make a distinction because this seems so much like basically the same as the stuff we've watched before that I didn't really care for, that I don't see how the other ones are better.
They do things in cars. That's what it is. The cars are important.
I will say this one separates Dom from the crew and lets them, you know, do their own thing and be fun, which is only to their benefit. Because I'm increasingly convinced that Vin Diesel is just like a 700-pound anchor around the neck of this franchise, dragging it down. It's just, the man can't act. The man can't be interesting. He has to carry the entire emotional heft of these movies, and he cannot do it.
Oh my gosh.
It's bad.
Oh.
But
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
That being said,
wow.
Shaw is great in this movie. The Rock is great in this movie. I think they are very fun to watch. Their prison escape scene is probably the best scene in the movie.
I've seen the franchise.
I don't know about that. Better than the other Shaw action scene? That maybe one of the best action scenes in a while. Like, that scene is fucking, that rules.
That scene is good, but it's maybe a little corny for me.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Maybe just if he had a few less interjections, like, you know what I mean? I think it would have worked for me better. It was just a little too corny as is. But anyway, yeah, they're great. I can see why a Hobbs and Shaw spinoff happened after this movie because they are easily the best part of it. I tend to agree otherwise with what Nando is saying, where it's just like, I don't know. I don't care about Dom's business. I just don't. And so much of this movie is about it. And then the action scenes are just... I already said last week, I've kind of realized I don't really care for cars as a rule. And they I'd think you'd like this better because they seem to be appeasing your Furious 7 criticisms by going back to big car scenes. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just like 7 was the blip where I was like, I kind of like this. This is back to my usual opinion of later day Fast and Furious movies where I just don't really like it that much.
Yeah, I feel that. DJ, what about you?
So I'm probably the highest on these movies of the three of us. Like this movie specifically. It's not my favorite. I don't like it more than 6 and 7. I do like it more than 4 and like even like probably 3. I just remember watching 3 again and being like, oh, I don't like this. You know what it is? I actually agree with like a lot of your criticisms. For me, the movie's like way too long. And I watched the director's cut apparently, and I'm so curious what little did you guys? I'm sure you guys watched the director's cut too, right? Yeah,
maybe. What do you know? What the specifics are?
No idea. It's an hour and a half long instead of. It's 2.5 hours long instead of like 2:20, I think, or whatever.
I watched the 2:21.
Yeah, I have no idea what it adds. It's probably just like little things here and there. I'm sure you get a little extra cipher, and I bet it's great. Yeah, but I think that this movie, it's so strange because it starts off with like, yeah, we're doing like a big race and we're just gonna give you Dom and Mia, And for me, it falls like pretty short. Like I actually thought that race was super weak sauce. I thought it was like dumb how they did the whole fucking like, oh, it's not the car, it's the driver. Beat me with this shitty big down car. And it's like, wow, you guys have run out of ideas how to do cool street races, right? Like you can just do a cool street race. It doesn't have to be gimmicky. Where the race ends with Dom driving an on fire car into
God.
like the Cuban Ocean. Like, come on.
No, what I loved
Cuban
about that
Ocean.
scene, the Cuban Ocean, DJ, that's what it's called.
It just surrounds Cuba.
Shut
It's a
up.
very small ocean.
What I loved about that scene was Dom is like, it's not about what's under the hood, it's about who's behind the wheel. And the guy's like, okay, so drive that car. And Dom's like, oh, you got it. Now let's change what's under the hood. It's like, so it's a little about that, Dom, all right? It's a little bit about that.
I mean, he's not wrong, but also it's the part about what's under the hood is if the car is can explode, big fire. I mean, I think that part was so great because he just like fucking almost kills everybody at that race.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's a speeding fire car, hooray! And I like that juxtaposition where he's like, get out of the way!
Yeah.
No, guys! And they just don't, so he almost dies. I don't know. That's the part of it that I think, I don't know. I liked, you know what I like about Dom? I liked him solving problems. I liked that they had the problem, like, car's on fire, what am I going to do? Drive backwards? Like, that kind of stuff is, I think, what Fast and Furious movies, when they really work for me, work. Like, and I think, like, the tank scene has that. I'm trying to think of another really good action scene. Like, some of the races in 3.
So to my overall point, I think this movie's so middling and it's too long. If this movie was 90 minutes, I'd probably love it. But it does have just like these like high octane action scenes in parts that I really enjoy. Like, and it's so piecemeal. Like, I thought the zombie car thing was dumb, but I thought the harpoon stuff with Dom's car was cool. And, like, I didn't love the submarine chase, but I really liked when The Rock, like, blocked rockets with the back of a plow. Like, so it was very mixed for me. I will say, not to be biased, but this had to be the most DOD Army propaganda movie of all of them. And I say
God.
that having so where I work, we have the ripsaws there. Because those were the ripsaws used in Fate of the Furious. They borrowed them from us.
The ripsaw is not the saw he carries. It's like that car.
No, sorry,
the
it's the
treadmills?
car
Yeah, okay.
on the ice. Yeah. And well, do you remember the line where we gotta like talk more about this? But Tej is like, the army's moving to unmanned vehicles so they can keep their soldiers safe.
I do
That's what
remember
this
that,
is.
yeah.
But there's a car seat for those who want to live a little more dangerously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
they're keeping the boys safe, everybody.
It's much more safe for the soldiers to remotely pilot these giant tanks when they're murdering people. You know, none of the soldiers get hurt that way. Cool. All right.
And also, like, hey guys, maybe get out of the fucking thing later in the game. It's a remotely controlled thing. That could be useful. That could be a fun
That's
twist
true.
or something. Oh, we're not actually in it. But no. They just wanted to tell us. They just wanted to read the
Exactly,
copy that they got
yeah.
from the army while also telling us that they were even cooler than that. Also, apparently only one exists, I assume, because otherwise it's the best car for that situation. Why can't everybody have one? I don't know.
I think Picatinny Arsenal loaned them 3. I think they loaned them 3 ripsaws. Yeah. But it was like, as seen in Fate of the Furious, they were so excited when they lent them to it. That's all everyone talks
Aw.
about. It's like, these are going to be in a movie. Yeah, so.
They were. They did a good job.
They were. So, where was I going? Oh, yeah, middling. Middling for me. So, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. Or an IGN 8 out of 10. There's a little something for everyone.
There's a little something for everybody, and that's my problem with it, I think. It's just like, it's so much, it's so all over the place. But also, I think there's parts of it that just aren't very good. But, Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like, what do you guys think? All right, so there's like 4 storylines. 3. There's 3 storylines.
Yeah.
The first one is the Dom and Cypher bit.
Yes.
What do we think of can we describe Cypher? Diggins, you kind of got at it with the dreads, but what else is her deal? What's her deal? Her name is Cypher.
She's extremely well named because she is a cipher.
I just thought you were going to say that. Yeah.
In this movie, she basically isn't a character at all. She's just kind of a vehicle for Dom to be evil. And also to kind of... So this is something I don't like about these movies that is just becoming more and more obvious with time, which is that nothing happens in these movies. Things have only have happened.
Oh, like everything is just, it's building on top of what happened. And, well, get ready for 9, because 9 is going to be a non-stop blitz of, hey, how about all these things that have happened?
Because, what I mean is it's like, it's nothing, it's never like, we're joining our heroes now and like, this is how things have changed. It's like, it turns out that this has been true the whole time, or this thing was always the case. And it's always just like some reveal about the past, like something we didn't know, but was always true. And it's like, things can just happen, you guys. Things can just happen.
Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. I don't have a guess. I don't know why. I guess because it feels more surprising to be like, actually, the whole time it was this instead.
Right.
Instead of just like Dom and Letty decide to get married at the end of 7 because they love each other. It turns out that they were always married the whole time because I don't know, why not?
I think the series is addicted to retcons as a way to humanize the villain in the movie that they forgot to humanize him in. So there always has to be like, oh, my brother, he was actually only doing stuff for her, and she made me be bad. And so now that you know that, it's okay if I'm nice? I think they love that.
They're kind of retrofitting it to make it so that she has been the real villain behind the later half of these movies, like all of them.
Yeah.
Which is funny, because you really don't even need that to humanize Deckard, because besides the fact that he was the real hero of Furious 7, and I'm a Deckard Shaw truther, like... His speech at the beginning of 7 already laid the perfect groundwork for that, where he was like, you know, when he's talking to his brother, he's like, you lost your way, and, you know, I'm not proud of the things you've done, but you're still my brother, so I gotta revenge you. Like, we already had it made clear that, like, he doesn't think the things his brother's done are cool. There doesn't have to be a secret person behind it. You know?
Yeah. It is weird, too, because so many of these villains, the 6, 7, 8 villains, all have no backstory except for, like, the backstory that we are told about them by, and they're usually, like, in their, you know, bit where Mr. Nobody is like, Deckard Shaw, ex-Special Forces, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like we get the same thing kind of with Cypher. I think we maybe even get less with her, because no one knows anything. She's so mysterious. But, like...
She's a hacker.
It's not that
Which
hard.
I have some issues with, by the way.
Yeah. She's a hacker in the sense that, like, she manages a bunch of hackers, I guess. I don't know. She's actually pretty good at hacking.
This is something I want to say, because there's one point where it's like, this is... Mr. Nobody's like, this is Cypher. And Ramsey goes, Cypher's a group. He's like, no, it's this one woman. And then later, she has, like, a team. She has employees. And I'm like, so it is a group.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
And,
so bad about that. Got such a bum deal. Weird guy with Cypher, earrings.
Oh, that one guy that like she kept yelling at for like, get another shot. Find something that reflects a mirror, a car.
Use a mirror or something. It's like,
so I guess she's just like really good like at brand management. And, like, making everyone think that she's the one doing all this stuff, and really she has a whole team.
Yeah, she's the Elon Musk of supervillain. Really, any tech billionaire, but one of them. Well, yeah, I mean, she's definitely
Elon Musk is the supervillain is the Elon Musk of supervillains.
Yeah, I feel like she's way better, like more effective than Elon Musk, but she's like a Bill Gates figure or something like that. Or a Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is probably the best example.
Is the plot of F9 going to be that she's putting microchips in all the vaccines?
Oh my god!
Hey. From a hacker group standpoint, it does make sense to make people think you're a group. Then you're so cool that it turns out you're only one person. Then to be discovered as a group again, because then, like, if the person goes down, the group lives on. So it's the best double bluff of all time.
Yeah. And this series just did a bluff with Ramsey's, kind of, where it was like the best hacker ever. Oh my god, you'd never believe it. And then the bluff was she's a hot lady. But, like, it's funny how the hierarchy of hackers...
despite being, like, some kind of anarchic hacker is totally cool, handing over, like, instant civil rights violating button to the U.S. government.
That's true.
They really needed it, Diggins.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, I think... I like at least that we get a check-in on God's Eye in this movie. I think that's kind of funny.
They made Roman look like a bitch. I
made him look like a genius, or, like, not a genius, but, like, that character that's like, we keep fucking stealing super weapons. Do you have any left? Like, I feel like they made him look a little silly, but also it's like, yeah, you should use that more often. Probably use it later in the movie. Keep using it. It works.
But they purposely
and now Ramsey fixed it, so use it even more.
But they purposely did the thing where it was like, oh, great idea, Roman. Actually, you have a shit idea, you fool.
No. I don't know.
Roman,
this movie doesn't know what to do with Roman.
That Mr. Nobody let them do the whole setup and search thing just to prove a point. Like, he couldn't just be like, yeah, we tried that she's found a way around it. Like, do you have any idea how much time you're wasting?
Especially when he's at your doorstep, you jabronis. Oh my god.
So Cypher, hacker extraordinaire. I do think, like, what kills me about Cypher is there's so many scenes where it's just her and Dom talking, and she does this thing where
can we do a reenactment? You be Dom and I'll be Cypher.
Sure.
Okay. All right. I'll start. Dom, what you have to understand is that you don't have a choice, and that everything you're doing has been predetermined by me.
I don't remember the line, so am I making it up? Is that what this reenactment is?
Just okay. Yeah, just make it up. Yeah.
What you don't know is you can't predetermine what you don't understand, and you don't understand family.
But Dom, what you love isn't family. You love that 10 seconds before you reach the finish line, when your blood boils and you could see the end. That's what you really love, not family.
You don't know nothing about family. I'm a tiger. You better not mess with the tiger.
Okay, I'm going to continue speaking like this for the next 45 minutes while I kill your baby's mama and just taunt you that I might kill your son.
Well, don't do that! Oh, no. You killed her. How about that? How about that little acting he did then when he screamed at her when she killed the mom? We didn't even touch on the actual surprise twist of this movie.
Whatever. Who cares?
Here's the question, right?
The other surprise thing that had already happened.
I mean, listen, he slept with Elena, so he can't assume there wasn't, at least his virile Toretto seed didn't impregnate her at least a little bit. Honestly, we should have been more confused that he didn't have any child sleep, hanging out in palatial Spain or whatever. But,
that legendary Toretto sperm just punches straight through condoms left and right.
Exactly. Okay. Dominic Toretto wears condoms. Yeah, he doesn't wear sleeves on his arms, but he wears condoms. Not in a million years. You can spend a whole movie with him just fiddling with one. Like, what is this? No way.
I have one question, by the way, that I didn't want to bring up next week because I didn't want to spoil the kid thing for Diggins.
Oh, right, yeah.
At the beginning of 7... when Elena falls 4 stories onto the rocks and fell into a car, was she pregnant?
That's a great question. How long had they been really broken up by then?
The time makes no, because when she explains it, she's like, well, I got pregnant when we were in here. She's like, I found out as soon as you found Letty, which was in 6. So 6 happened, and then we had the beginning of 7, so she's definitely pregnant.
Wait, but happens. The Rock works with her.
Yeah.
Does he not know?
Yeah. And not only does he work with her, she goes back to working with him as soon as they get Letty back, right?
Right. Figure
she shows up at the end of 6 with The Rock back to working with him. So she had to have been pregnant in that scene, right?
Yeah.
Which means that she was definitely pregnant while working with The Rock. So he must have known.
Right? You figure the team would have had their meeting. Guys, Dominic Toretto is acting very strangely. He seems to have changed his allegiances for no reason. Has anyone checked on his definitely pregnant ex-girlfriend?
Well,
no?
okay.
You never heard from her?
She may not have told him that it was Dom's. However...
How could you not assume?
I'm pretty sure he could have figured the timeline out, yeah.
Yeah. He saw Vin Diesel working on the engine after a hard night of sex or something. I'm sure The Rock, the world's greatest detective, would have put 2 and 2 together. Been like, Vin Diesel, you're working on your engine even more than usual. You must have just bedded a woman.
Also,
and then Elena comes out and he's like, good job.
Also, his kid is young in this movie, yes, but he's not a newborn. He's probably
true.
like 6 months, maybe a little older. So, like, either they've been on their honeymoon a long ass time, or like she really waited to tell him.
Maybe she wasn't pregnant in 7. Maybe she had
had
already
to have
had the
been.
baby. What if she had it already?
Oh.
Because it seems like 7 should roll right into 8.
Yes.
Well, but then her thing doesn't make any sense. She says, "I was waiting till after your honeymoon to tell you. You didn't even know they were married when he was born. What were you waiting for then?"
Oh God, yeah, this timeline's so fucked.
It's weird also that, like, the super spies don't know. Forget about Dwayne Johnson for a second. Like, Mr. Nobody should definitely know this. Because he knows all or nothing. It's really unclear. I guess he could fuck around with the prison, and that's pretty impressive. But other than that, he does seem like he's just some low-level government employee who's, like, talking his way through all this because he wants them to solve the problem for him. And he just knows to bring beer to the, like, secret meetings or whatever. But, like, he doesn't have any influence that's unusual or cool. I don't know. But you guys... here's my question. When you guys saw the trailer, or first heard kind of the premise, Dom is evil. And I remember in the trailer, he did that weird, awful kiss with her, with Charlize Theron to kind of throw us off the scent. But what did you think was going on?
When he kissed her?
Just like, no. I mean, like, when you first heard about this premise of, like, a movie where Dom is turned against the family, why did you think he did?
So you had asked me this last week, and I said...
Yeah.
Because I didn't know until I watched the movie this week. My guesses were, the realistic guess was blackmail, which turned out to be true. But the fanciful guess, and the one I kind of thought it was going to be, I'm not going to lie, was mind control chip.
Yeah, me too. I at the time was like, well, what can she possibly have blackmail of him that the rest of the family doesn't know about? And I kind of thought it would be mind control too, especially if she's a hacker. DJ, what about you?
I'm trying to go back. This movie came out 2017. My gosh, like 4 years ago. I had thought that maybe, mine was like weirdly fanciful and silly saying it, but I had thought that like something had happened within the family that Dom was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know, secretly found out that they were like, all this time they were, secretly eating babies or something like that.
Oh, that wouldn't be too bad if, like, Mr. Nobody was evil and he couldn't tell the rest of the crew, but he had to beat them at racing. Like,
somehow it turned out that, like, the good guys were evil the whole time.
Right.
Oh, you mean these movies?
Right?
The actual secret plot of these movies. Deckard Shaw is the real hero.
I'm telling you, we are going to learn that John Cena is the guy who ran Dom's their dad, like off the tracks or whatever.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god, you're right. I hate it, but you're right.
Well, that's the other thing about these movies. It's so weird. It's like it's about family, right? And, like, we know that Mia is Dom's sister. And that's pretty much all we know about Dominic Toretto's past. Like, we know so little about his actual blood family and, like, the history of them that they are able to just backfill the family with new villains whenever they need to, like, throw a John Cena in or something like that. I do think there's enough in flux that you could be like, maybe she kidnapped a secret brother of Dom's that we never knew existed because he never talks about him and we never ask. So,
and apparently secret brothers of Dom do exist, so...
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
stupid. Gonna have a secret extra sister, Mia's twin. That'll be Fast 10.
Yeah. I'm really like, I don't know. Because I think this series is building to Cypher being the Blofeld or whatever of this universe. And she's not good enough. But so I wonder what they're going to have to end up doing. Because I can't imagine a version of this where at the end of the next one, John Cena's guy isn't also a good guy freed from her clutches again.
Right.
So, like, it's a tough, like, it's tough. But part of it is just, like, Cypher stinks. And...
Oh, my God, yeah.
They really tried to, like, play up her being not even, like, a hacker, but just, like, so smart and such a good manipulator. I wish they gave her, like, the slightest hint of a backstory or something. Some personality that was like, I don't know, the government did this to me, so now I don't like him. Because it's just so much nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But...
I think, too, like, so to the Cypher character, it's such a just, yeah, what if a better hacker, and what if she actually was the villain, right? And then you get Charlize Theron to just mumble her way through the movie until she has to yell at the end because she's, oh my God, she's so flustered. And even then, she's like, so cool, don't worry about it. But, like, there's no through line for a character. I think that's the most frustrating part. And, like, that's why Shaw in 7, and even, like, Shaw in 6 to some extent, like, where he's just the foil to Dom, where it's like family, like what? It's just like the team's like pieces of a car. You trade in a bad one for a better one. But hers is like choice is an illusion, but also do you really love family? But also I'm so powerful. Like there was just nothing about her that was compelling or consistent, and that's probably the most frustrating thing about this movie for me.
Hey, governments need accountability, you guys.
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't understand a single goddamn thing about her plan.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah,
for a character who is able to hack into any car and also had the ambassador of whatever, Russia? Was that what that guy was from?
The Russian defense minister.
Yeah.
Who was carrying the Russian nuclear codes around in America for some fucking reason?
Yeah, that never, ever. That's insane.
So she had him in her grasp and was able to kill him. I think after watching the movie for a second time, my question is like, why do you even want a nuke? That doesn't seem like any much better. Like, you can get whatever you want right now. If you want to make a government accountable, just make all their cars drive off a cliff. And then they're accountable now. Like,
shut down the grid. I bet she could shut down a grid.
Easily.
She can do every other
oh my
superpower.
God. Yeah, she has the God's Eye now. Use that to do evil. Or use the thing from 6. Go find whatever. The one that, what was that called?
Oh, the
Blank Slate or whatever the fuck.
Nightshade.
Yeah, Nightshade. Use the Nightshade thing. Go get all the Infinity Stones from the other movies and just use those. But, like, the fact that it ends with, like, her stealing a nuke feels so, like, almost, like, outdated. Like, a step down for the master super hacker. Like, I don't know a lot about nukes, but I do think if Cypher was like, I have to hold the government accountable, you'd assume then she'd have to shoot at one of them, and then they could, like, intercept it. Doesn't seem impossible. Especially if, like, they know it's missing and stuff. I guess she's the best hacker ever, but still, I don't know. She stinks.
Yeah.
She does have the worst haircut ever.
And it somehow gets worse in the next movie.
It really does. Do you guys remember, what's the one with Nicolas Cage that's like these, Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie also had really weird blonde dreadlocks.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. It's like it's a look.
I think the problem you guys are having with Cypher, and it's a reasonable problem to have, is that this movie is trying to add philosophical conflict to a franchise who never got a deeper philosophy than you should care about your family.
Right?
Like you can't, like, the whole nihilist being like, but you, hero, secretly love this other thing, and like, the bad things of the world are the good things instead. Doesn't make any sense when your hero is just a big slab of ham who's like, I love my family, and that's all the depth he has. Like, there's nothing to psychoanalyze about Dom. He doesn't have a personality. It doesn't work.
And I think, like, for a future one of these, and I don't know what to expect, like, John Cena's deal to be, or I'm sure there's some other fucking bullshit device that everyone's after. But, like, I think you could make the case for a villain who's just like, I want to do bad things. And this fucking specific group of guys keeps thwarting all the bad things. So I'm just going to kill them. That's the whole thing. I just want them dead. And I think Deckard Shaw was kind of doing that, but also we didn't really buy that with him. But I think you could, like, the villain has to, like, if Vin Diesel's entire guiding philosophy and everything is just, I want to protect family, family's important, then the villain just can't do anything besides, I want to kill your family. That's all I want. And I think you could do that because these characters in this movie, especially, have cemented themselves at, like, the first line of response for super terrorism now. They're not just the ones you call in when somebody's got a specific car thing and you need to figure out what kind of car they drove or whatever. They are like the new Ethan Hunt in IMF, like, something happens that isn't quite, something the police would deal with. You got to call the whatever they are, the Fast Family Force 7. Or I don't know how many there are. Yeah, it's weird. It is really weird.
You know what's crazy? Sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
So I agree that is what happens, but I feel like the movies try and make it incidental. So, like, in 6, it's, so let's say, like, starting from 5, right? So, like, they instigate the heist because they want to do crime and they want to be rich, right? So that they're like, okay, we're doing Ocean's 11,
Wait,
right?
who's they? You're talking about the...
Sorry, the Fast Family.
Oh, yeah, and also they want to get there's drugs involved, and they're so great. They want to get the drugs off the streets, kind of.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have, like, that altruism from 4, where it's like, how would bad guys steal gas but give it to the poor? Like, whatever. Okay.
Right.
So, that's 5, right? 6, they are called because they're the supercar guys that The Rock needs, but really the call to action is that they have Letty. So it's like, all right, because if they don't have Letty, Dom says, fuck off, right? Then The Rock has to go bug someone else to help find the super criminals. So then 7, they are hunted because of what they fucked with in 6. And then in 8, it's like, well, it's Dom, so we need to get you guys because it's Dom. There's no one else. So
right.
It's Dom. So it's kind of incidental, but kind of, they are MI6, so...
and
it's a weird push and pull that they're trying.
The way you described it too makes it so weird that in 6, the reason they're there is both a car-themed supervillain, which is perfect for them, and the Letty thing. Like, you could use the Letty thing here to bolster Cypher into, like, she's got Letty, so that's why Dom's with her, or just like, wow, Letty's back, isn't that interesting? But instead, they blew it all on 6, which is like the movie. I think that you have the most. It makes the most sense to bring them back. But
right. So
yeah, I don't
weird.
know.
It's like a weird framing for these movies. What was your guys like? Just I don't know what. Did we talk about how dumb Cypher's? Oh yeah, Cypher's plan's dumb because she can shut down the internet at any time.
Yeah, she wants to steal the nuke because she wants to hold governments accountable.
So,
but
what is
her plan's not just stupid; it doesn't make any sense.
Explain.
I'm literally not sure I understand it because it's so incredibly stupid that I feel like I must have misunderstood. But to the best of my knowledge, her plan, as eventually revealed in conversation with Dom, is to steal and launch a nuke so that governments are afraid that she could launch nukes and that will make them act better?
I think she is not going to launch it until a point where she wants to be like, government, America, now we got a nuke and we're the Cypher people, so you gotta listen to us. Like, I don't think she had a plan to launch the nuke yet. I think
she just wants to have it to like threaten. Yeah. Like, I could do what any of you countries could do.
Right.
Yeah, so but she's talking about, like, they need accountability. once I'm doing this, they'll act better. And I'm like, do you mean nuclear deterrence theory, a thing we've had for a long time? You know that more than one government has nukes, right? Like, What is you having one going to change about their behavior?
And again, it's like, just pick a thing. Pick a specific government. Be like, fucking, I don't know, maybe not the United States, because this movie, they're...
Pick a specific government, or pick a specific thing that you want, that you are holding them hostage for. Like, it doesn't work as a general, like, governments need to be held accountable by me having a nuke. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, governments would be held accountable by any of the 3 or 4 super weapons that have already been in play in these movies. Like, we keep saying that. Every time they have to sell us on why the fast crew needs to get involved, it's like, you take out a army's, what is it, power for a second, they all die. Take out countries and they all die, the whole country dies. So that's pretty good. That's about as good as a nuke. Like, I feel like a lot of people died in New York City the day where they dropped the cars on everybody. So, like, just do that more safer. I don't know. Doesn't seem like this would be a problem.
I could kill all your world leaders by just taking over the car they are in and driving it into the ocean. Or driving it into a wall.
Yeah, I feel like the ability to take over every car in Manhattan is much more threatening.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny that it doesn't do it. It doesn't go anywhere. Like, I think that was when I heard about the pitch for Cypher as, like, the ultimate hacker. She can hack cars. There's a part of me that was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, because they drive cars. And then I remembered that in 6, we also had a villain who could automatically shut off cars. So then it's just like, well, what are we We're just driving away from other cars? Like, that's what all these are. And then she did, like, World War Z with the cars. And I remember seeing that trailer and going, like, that's kind of cool. And now I'm like, that was stupid. But also, I'm like, where did it go? She fucking has it in this movie. And the guys are like, we got to use they get the nuke codes from the ambassador defense minister dude, and then the Fast family comes in, and it's like, where are the cars then? Why aren't we throwing cars off of overpasses at them now? You don't like them. But it's like, she's almost like, Dom, you're on your own. Good luck. I don't know. This movie's stupid. But yeah, Dom is I don't know. It's funny that Dom is the centerpiece of this movie, because I don't think he works like on his own, and I don't know if I ever saw that before this one.
Yeah, it was a choice, and I don't know that it worked super well. Also, because from Cypher, as a viewer watching Cypher, it's like, well, when's this other shoe gonna drop? Because at no point do you think, like, oh, I guess she's gonna have Dom forever, or she's going to get out of her weird money plane-like base. And,
it was the money plane. Oh, my God, was it? He could have fucked an alligator.
Yeah. But yeah, she'll just let Dom drop off Dom and his kid at the closest black site. No problem. So yeah, none of this the idea stopped at like, guys, wouldn't it be cool if Dom fought the family? Yeah. Okay, that was the whole beginning and end of the idea. Unfortunately,
I will say it is helpful. If this franchise is going to exist the way it does, it is helpful to have Dom as a villain, because then the heroes can actually have setbacks and lose, since we don't have contractually obligated to always win Vin Diesel on the good guy's side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my thing with I think by this point the contracts had taken over everything. All of them had contracts by this point. I know The Rock, Jason Statham, and Vin Diesel do, where they can't lose, and even if they lose, then actually they're not losing. It's part of their plan. But, and I guess in any future movie, it can be like, how I lost that fight to you 8 movies ago? It was actually part of my plan, so I didn't lose. Thanks. Put that in the Wikipedia page, everybody. But I had a question thinking about the contracts, right? Because, and I think this about all movies to some extent these days. I do think the Fast and Furious public weird contract stuff made me think of it a little bit more for this franchise. Do you guys think part of the whole thing with Vin Diesel is he didn't want to film the whole movie?
Oh.
Let me do all my scenes on a plane with what's her name, and then I'll be it.
That's so interesting.
because like that makes sense to me in any other franchise, and also if anybody in this franchise is going to be a little too big for their britches, it's him. I'm wondering, besides like Guardians of the Galaxy, which is another movie series that you can kind of film not there, what else he was working on at this time. It's like Triple X3, Last Witch Hunter, Bloodshot, probably not Bloodshot, maybe just those other ones. Sorry, that was his producer credits. I mean, he was in all those movies, so for sure. Avengers, for sure, but also, like, how much did he actually have to do for that? Yeah, so it has to be one of those things, though, projects.
Yeah,
I wonder if he was like, I want to make a...
This is the one where The Rock and Vin Diesel had their famous falling out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And they don't even stand together at the very end.
Yeah,
they're not at the barbecue together. It's almost like he's in a different building with Mr. Nobody. But yeah, I think this franchise, when it works, part of the charm of it is that the family. I know it's like a cliche, but I do think the family stuff helps, and not having Dom in the room with them makes you kind of go like, well, what do we actually need him for? He's fun in some bits, but like actually The Rock can kind of do everything he was doing before, and like, you know, Tyrese, Ludacris, they've still got their business. Michelle Rodriguez is around. Ramsey is the object of affection. She is the competition between the guys, I guess. And then Jason Statham's fun. I like Jason Statham way more in this than I liked him in Hobbs and Shaw. I think he's great.
And I think they kind of figured out that dynamic in this movie, but like forgot about it in the movie featuring them. I don't know what that was about.
Well, I think they had to rewrite The Rock.
The problem is this movie starts with them like hating each other. And I think, Nando, you complain about how in Hobbs and Shaw they're not really any different. I think this movie actually does a decent job drawing a distinction between their approaches, at least. Like in the prison scene, The Rock is all like pure strength, tossing people around, taking hits. Whereas Shaw is more of a John Wick type, kind of dodging around, doing kung fu moves, stealing people's guns and shooting them.
And like parkour and shit, like straight up, you know, really fancy gymnastics, which is always fun to watch.
But then this movie does the whole like, but at the end they're friends thing already, but also doesn't give us any reason why. Like they kind of are just mean to each other until they're not, and then they're friends. And I don't...
They understand each other now, or at least The Rock understands Jason Statham.
Like, well,
why?
Even, like, yeah. Well, it's just because The Rock and Jason Statham have that scene in the what do they call it, candy shop or playground or something?
Wherever
the fuck it is. Yeah, the fish market that's actually a big old garage. And they're like, oh, you have the Distinguished Service Cross and all this cool stuff. Me and you could be friends one day, except fuck you, haha. Actually, we're cool now. Like I feel
you
like
have
that
the Victoria Cross, and Shaw's like, oh, you already knew I was a member of the British SAS. I only left because they tried to kill me, so I don't really understand what you're learning about me that you didn't already know. I mean, are you learning that I was never really a villain, and I'm the secret hero of this franchise? I mean, because get on board a train, buddy. I mean, that's just a thing all thinking men know about this franchise now.
Yeah, it's almost like The Rock's whole thing is obviously he's the most manly of the men, and we do get. I really think between 8 and Hobbs and Shaw, his character gets a hard reset, and he's just a dad then.
Yeah.
But in this movie, I think he's got all the conflicts between him and Shaw come down to like Shaw calls him a funny name, he calls Shaw like a funny name, and like he cannot take. Because of all the testosterone flowing through his veins at all time, even if a good guy who maybe was fucked over by the SAS calls him a pansy, that man is his enemy for life. And, like, that has to completely inform all of their interactions, regardless of the context. And it's except for Tyrese. Tyrese gets away with it. But everybody else, no thank you. I do think... This movie, the things about this movie that work, I think this movie is pretty funny. The bit where The Rock...
unintentionally.
Intentionally. I think this movie gets a lot of good humor. It's not Fast and Furious humor, or like, it's not... See, the Fast and Furious movies I think part of the reason they work for me is they have a certain charm that they're taking themselves kind of seriously. And I think 6 is where that charm, like, is at the breaking point. And then 7, there's still a lot of charm because of the Paul Walker thing. But here it's just like, they're not taking themselves seriously anymore. This is a parody of this movie. But still, some of the parody stuff works. Like the scene where The Rock is teaching, or is coaching his kids football or like soccer team. That's great. That's so funny. And when the moms are all flirting with him, and he's just like, it's big soccer town. That line is really, really funny. But it's just like, it's almost like, who cares? But there's some really funny parts in this movie.
Do you know what really got me, like, in that vein? That's why I said intentional or unintentional. So after the race in Cuba, the Cuban mile race, not the quarter mile,
right?
And he gets, the guy's gonna give him the car. And he's like, keep your car. Or the guy goes, you won. You got you won my car, and you earned my respect. And then Dom goes, keep your car. Your respect's enough for me. And I'm like, Dom, what? This guy's like a quasi-villain, right? Like,
he literally tried to kill you like 2 minutes ago.
And the reason that you were like, when this guy was like, hey, he owes me money, you were like, you take the cars and you give them to America. You suck. So it's like, you don't need to like him. It's okay.
Right?
He can be bad. Yeah. You've explained it very easily.
And then later she's trying to justify himself to Cypher. He's like, if I'm nice to people arbitrarily, then they become good for no reason.
Yeah.
And of course he has to be right about that, because that's what this movie is.
Yep.
He's right about it because this dude helps him out with his just like insanely elaborate and completely implausible plan.
Can we talk about Dom's plan? I love Dom's plan so much.
It doesn't make any sense. I do want to check, who is this guy? The car racing guy.
He's just some Cuban crime boss.
No. In real life. He's he's like a musician. Is this Daddy Yankee or something? One of these guys is in here. Because like Don Omar, Leo and Santos, like those two guys, they're both recording artists. I'm pretty sure this guy is too. But I don't know what his real name is. So this actor is Celeste Cornielli. I think this is the same guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's not. I thought it was this was another recording artist. Anyway, let's talk about Dom's plan. What's his deal?
Dom is like basically being held captive because Cypher kidnapped Dom's kid and baby mama Elena. So Dom is forced into like indentured servitude for Cypher, the greatest hacker group of all time, or whatever. So
even Anonymous is scared of them, DJ.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I forgot about that stupid line. They had to put that in to contextualize for like somebody. Oh yeah, I've heard of Anonymous. Mm. Yeah, I know what's going on. So Dom, basically, what his plan comes down to is he has to find a way, while always being under the eye of Cypher, to put a tracker on the plane. Which was secretly his like weird necklace thing. Apparently that was a tracker.
You knew that because of the little light.
Yeah, because it was beeping red constantly and making a noise. So I don't know how she noticed. But follow-up question. So it was revealed last movie that cross is his wedding ring for Letty. Why does he have it? It's her wedding ring. Why does he have it?
I don't know, man. Just in case he needs the tracking device, like just in case. You never know when he can use the tracking device.
Wait. Why does he have it? Didn't Shaw give it to him or something?
No, why? Not why does he have it back? I know he has that's the movie with it back, but it's Letty's wedding ring. Why doesn't she have it?
Right. I don't know.
And the reason for this is, the tracking device is like hooked up to a watch, and he gets in contact somehow, we don't know how, with Mama Shaw to recruit the Shaw brothers to come rescue his baby, so she no longer has leverage and he can like be free or whatever.
And not only that, he secretly used the God's Eye to figure out where Owen Shaw is, so that Deckard could go save Owen Shaw. and then in return for that information, they will go rescue his son.
Right.
How, by the way, how did he use the God's Eye?
How did he do any of this? How did he do any of this without her noticing?
Wait. How did he use the God's Eye to do what?
To find Owen.
He already knew where Owen was because he walked by, like, in the base. They had information about Owen that he, like, glanced at, right? When he raided Mr. Nobody's compound?
My understanding was that was just him being like, Deckard's in this family, and that means he's a good guy. Because in my simplistic 2-year-old's understanding of the universe, anything you do for family is justified and good.
I was under the impression like it had like the name of the maximum security prison he's in on the information, and he gleaned that. But
Helen Mirren says he uses the God's Eye.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, like, if that were the case, Deckard was looking at that for way longer and clearer. They wouldn't need him.
So how did he use the God's Eye? How did he get in contact with Helen Mirren? How did he set up the thing with the truck? So there's a point when he has the meeting with Helen Mirren where he sets up this like very elaborate, like, he's like, oh, I gotta fix the car. And Cypher's like, fine, I guess. But he knows that there's one camera that he blocks with the hood of the car being up, and then there's another camera at an ATM which he blocks by the Cuban guy driving up a truck to block that camera.
Which, like, he didn't know anybody not even just in New York, in the continental United States who could have done that instead. He had to have a dude fly up from Cuba to take care of driving a truck.
Well, he was probably already there, you know.
It's probably pretty suspicious. I feel like Cypher should at least check on some of these people, especially later, the other people that are involved in this plan. I feel like immediately, for our benefit, revealed themselves to be known associates of Dominic Toretto. And it's like, man, you really just gave up. You were like, well, I guess we're done here. Cypher closes her computer and, like, goes on Facebook or whatever. I don't know. But, like, she stinks.
What's dumb as fuck is that, so, like, near the climax of the movie, right? The Shaw brothers have their, like, crazy jetpacks that they're flying to the plane with.
Love it.
Right? And then we get, like, an instant flashback for, like, how this was set up. But, like, that isn't even explained, right? Like, sure, that's how he blocked the camera, and, Deckard gets shot at some point, but don't worry about it. He lives somehow. Like, I'm pretty sure he's shot with real bullets.
He is shot with real bullets, and the shots hit him, and because it's, for a second, I was like, oh, it's a bulletproof vest, because it's the same shit, where, like, no blood comes out, but also it's a PG-13 movie, but still you figure you get a little bit. But, I'm like, oh, it's a bulletproof vest. But no, because when he gets into the ambulance, his mom is there, and she stabs him with, like, adrenaline with a needle through his shirt. So, like, whatever hit him. And yeah,
it's okay. They're all superheroes now.
They
totally
really are.
Fine. Shaw can't even be stopped by conventional bullets,
right? Like I thought the rubber bullets in this movie were pretty silly, but yeah, that part is way dumber. Now that I remember that he does actually get shot.
At one point with the rubber bullets, the SWAT team shoots the Rock in the chest like 3 times with rubber bullets from like a shotgun, and the Rock like winces like, ugh, that kind of stings. And then he takes the gun, shoots the guy in full riot gear in the foot, and the guy's like, oh my god, my foot exploded.
Yeah, he even says, like, I want to say his line is like, rubber bullets, big mistake, or something like that. Like, what did you think, rubber bullets could possibly stop me? I mean, The Rock in this movie, in the other movies, he was a large man who was pretty large, and you would be like, man, it's going to be hard to punch him. In this movie, what's his most bizarre feat of strength? Is it that?
It's I can't remember. The bench in the cell.
Oh, yeah, he rips that off the wall.
I would argue that's his flashiest, but his most ridiculous is when Little Nobody pisses him off by bringing up his daughter, and he literally just hulks out of his handcuffs. Out of his, like... Yeah. Out of his steel handcuffs. Just doesn't even seem like he tries that hard. Just kind of flexes, and they burst off of him.
Yeah.
I actually... This is a low-key one. When Hobbs and Shaw are like starting to become buddy. At one point, they're like fixing cars, and both of them lift an engine block.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know how heavy engine blocks are, but it's like most of the car weight is the engine block. And the fact that, here, let me give you a hand with that, and they're like, huh! And they like, I don't think the three of us could make an engine block budge. And these guys just kind of lift it cash, like, oh, that was a little heavy. Lifted a heavy box there for a second. Like, that's also insane.
Well, one other thing that The Rock does, because you're right, he rips in prison, in Supermax prison, he rips the concrete bench off the wall and starts doing curl-ups. He also, it's like shadow boxing, but not really. He's like punching the wall as if it's a heavy bag, but like full force, just a concrete wall. And his like, you know, his knuckles aren't bleeding. But also, I'm like, what exercise is that for you? Just do any other calisthenic. I don't understand. Unless you're trying to, like, break the thing.
Stronger.
Yeah, I guess it does. It's like bloody knuckles, but for... Yeah, it's fucking wild. Yeah, he does pick up guys and just toss them. That's why I do like his fight scene. The fight scene in the prison. Diggs, you're right. It's definitely the most well put together fight scene in terms of, like, visuals, but also, like, an objective and, like, obstacles and stuff. It's good. It's good stuff.
It would have been great. Just like, because it's already ridiculous. Like, so they have the shotguns, and like, I imagine, like, let's just say that they weren't rubber bullets, like the regular shotgun shells, and it hits the Rock, and the Rock winces. He's like, shotgun shells? Big mistake.
Yeah.
Can't stop me.
I mean, also, fucking get regular bullets, guys. It's Supermax. I feel like rubber bullets feel like a little undercooked for complete prison breakout.
Like, they were in like Berlin, right? Like they probably have like a little more like squishier laws.
Oh,
they were back in America.
Oh, were they? Oh, my bad.
I feel like it's like one of those black sites too, where everything's legal.
I love that. Yeah, it was probably a black site. I love that they say like you mess this one up, Hobbs, then you're going to jail, and it's like he does, but why?
Yeah.
Because they broke into a Berlin military site, and that's illegal.
Well,
but I thought it was... wait, did they bring it to a Berlin military site? I thought it was, like, it had been stolen by terrorists or whatever.
Oh, God, I'm trying to remember now the structure of this.
But
like, they tie themselves into knots to be like, there's nothing morally questionable about what we're asking you to do. But also,
right?
If you mess it up, you're going to jail.
Well, the part of that I found way stupider... Because, yes, that is all stupid, but that's like, the Mission Impossible guys do stuff like that all the time. The part that I found especially stupid is The Rock gets caught, and Mr. Nobody's like, if you want, we can let you out, and then you won't have to go to jail. And he's like, no, I'm going to let the justice system do its thing. It's like, dude, you're burnt. You're going to jail forever. Yeah. It's not like you're going to plead your case in front of a judge and be like, no, you see, the government made a deal with me. They can't tell you about it, but trust me. Like... You're never going to see your daughter again, man. Just don't do that. Like, take his deal. And he takes it anyway later. Like, I just don't understand the morality of Hobbs.
Well, no, he doesn't even take the deal. Yeah, no, he's just like, I don't want people to think I'm a criminal. But, like, it seems part of it is, like, he can't go back to his job if he takes this deal. But he doesn't go back to his job anyway.
Yeah.
Except he does, right? Because Hobbs and Shaw is a thing, right?
Hobbs and Shaw is just him doing a favor for his old buddy. He doesn't go back to his job.
Hobbs and Shaw, it's like spy stuff. I don't know what his job... I mean, we've tried to figure out what he actually does. It's mostly fraudulent passports and stuff. But even if you get back to like what his job as a cop would be, I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's probably got a sick pension, so... But he's probably, like, voided it. I don't know. It seems like he could also just be like, give me $1 billion, got family, and they'd be like, okay. And then you could just live forever on the high life, baby. But, I don't know. It's not... It is probably the dumbest part of the movie is all that stuff. Besides the fact that... Besides all the, like, physics of certain bits.
Yeah, the plot point where it's just like, this is so dumb, yeah.
Yeah, and none of it needs to happen either. That's the other part I don't understand. Yep. It's a lot of legwork to get us to everybody's in the same room, but like, yeah, you could have just called them and called Shaw and be like, we let Shaw out of jail. And then now it'd be, The Rock has the same reaction he had before, I guess.
And all it does is pad the runtime, which is like the worst part, right?
Yeah, unfortunately,
Like,
it's the best action scene, so we got to keep it. But it does have no purpose here. It feels very much like they had to, like, sell us on this Hobbs and Shaw thing, and otherwise that would have been a scene in the Hobbs and Shaw movie. But they were like, "No, let's put it in the Fast and Furious movie, so people want to see this Hobbs and Shaw movie." But
they're gonna be so stoked on it.
yeah,
They're gonna love it.
I don't know. What about the family? What'd you guys think of them in this movie? They're all back. No, not all of them, but some of them.
You know what's interesting? So Diggins, you were saying how, you know, it was nice that the family got to shine because they're not being weighed down by the anchor that is Dominic Toretto. But I found the family to be incredibly flat. And, like, Letty has nothing. Like, Michelle Rodriguez has nothing for this movie. Like, thank goodness that they decided to kill Elena so she can at least be a mom figure now, so she has something. Because otherwise, she's just flat and nothing. So yeah, I, like, you know, Ludacris is fun and Roman's Roman, but I thought it was very lacking, and I don't know that Dom would have improved it, but there's something to the chemistry there that existed in 6 and 7 that was.
I mean,
for
I think
me,
it's obvious. It's Brian. Like, Brian's he's the focal point of most of those scenes by just being the normal guy. Even Vin Diesel's a little too much. But you need somebody in there that's like normal. In this movie, it's fucking Scott Eastwood, who is one of the worst characters this franchise has ever produced. Like, just annoying and pointless. Everything about him is bad. And when he becomes cool, it's so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed for him. Yeah, it's so lame. The family. I think the family we kind of discussed. Michelle Rodriguez is there to be girlfriend, and then when Dom's out there, she really does like have no purpose anymore.
I will say,
we haven't developed any other personalities.
This movie does address a long-standing criticism of mine in regards to Letty, and I have to give it props for that. She does get a fight scene against a man.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
And she beats him the way a girl beats a man in a fight scene. One to the nuts.
Listen, baby steps. Yeah. At least they let her do it.
They did, and it was a good fight scene. Like, again, and all the fight scenes in that bit were pretty fun in the sub. Not sub, I guess, but like the base. Because you had that, you had some rock going at it. That was good, I guess.
I have a question.
Yeah?
The guys chasing them at the end on the ice, are those the Russian terrorists or were those Cypher's guys?
I think they were Russian.
Separatists. Diggins,
yeah.
They were separatists.
I think it was their missile that was stolen.
What do they want to be separate? What part of Russia
remember,
are they
like,
separatists
nobody
for?
kept correcting them on that. He's like, they're separatist.
I get it, but like, what nation are they separatists for? What entity do they want to break free from Russia?
I don't know, man. That's the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think... But they definitely weren't Cypher's guys. It's
not that Russia doesn't have, like, other nationalities living in it who might have separatist movements. But which one? I want to know which one, movie.
And you will in Fast 10 when we get to the backstory of the separatists or something.
Yeah, right.
When the separatists join the family.
Yeah.
Dom will be so cool with it. He's like, well, you did it for family.
Yeah.
When you think about it, your unformed nation state is like one big family. So.
Yeah. I wanted your nuke, but really I just want your respect. You got my respect, Dominic Toretto. You are the new leader of the separatist army.
Nando, wait, hold on. Nando, please do more of your Russian accent.
Can I do any other accent instead?
No.
Blah, blah. I have a nuclear weapon. I don't know. I do think... What were you going to say?
We're going to see Nando in Black Widow. He's going to be
yeah.
in Black Widow.
Oh, I'd be so good in that. I'd be like, hey, how many was that are you even going to say? Give me back the doomsday device, Black Widow. Otherwise, I will kill all the family. Yes, family
Nando,
too.
Nando, what if Marvel came to you and said, you can
the
have
answer is yes.
You can have a 2-second. That's not a yes or no question. You can have a 2-second cameo in any of our movies, and you get to pick what the cameo is, but it can't be more than 2 seconds, and you don't get to say anything. What do you pick?
So it's like gotta be. I assume like I have to look forward. It's gotta be an upcoming movie.
Yes, it has to be something that isn't out yet because Marvel's approaching you now.
I've always wanted to be a guy in a movie who is pushing a cart of like fruits and vegetables that gets toppled during a chase. Classic. And then I get to go like, what? I mean, I could say it without words. I'd be like, oh. And then that's like my cameo. So like Shang-Chi maybe. I don't know if the Eternals would have one of those guys.
Yeah.
But that seems like a kind of thing Shang-Chi would have.
I can't believe it. I'm so upset.
Ay, caramba.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, exactly. And then they could have another bit of me later in the movie because they love me so much, eating one of my apples or something, and then the fun animal sidekick shows up or something. I don't know. That'd be post-credit scene. That doesn't count for my time. So yeah, that. What about you, Diggins? What cameo would you want in a movie, a Marvel movie, let's say? Any really small, bizarre cameo?
I would want to be a bystander who they're trying to imply isn't, but definitely was killed by the collateral damage from one of the heroes.
Yeah.
I don't particularly care about what it is. Maybe it's Doctor Strange made a building turn into a big rock monster, and I am falling out of one of its windows or something, or maybe Black Widow is firing indiscriminately into a crowd after someone running away from her, and I'm just some random dude walking in that crowd. I don't care exactly how it happens. Just I want to be a innocent bystander who definitely got killed.
What about you, DJ? What's your ultimate cameo?
I think if I had to pick a 2-second cameo, I want to be, and this has to be probably one of the earlier Marvel movies. Actually, it might work in Shang-Chi. I want to be someone where the hero has to get through a crowd and he's pushing people aside, and I want to be someone who gets pushed aside by someone who has to get through a crowd. Because that would be cool, because then I would be touched by one of the Marvel heroes, and that would be really cool. So that would be fun. Cameo.
Also, I thought about it. I was wrong. I want to be Taskmaster, and I want just to be revealed. They take the mask off, and they're like, "It's you," and I make a face, and then that's it. That could be a cameo, right? It's mostly probably going to be Rachel Weisz's one or something. But what if it was just me? Who knows?
You think that's only 2 seconds?
Well, I would only be face for 2 seconds because they would be no. It would just be who's this guy? And then they'd go, I don't know, and then they'd do something else afterwards. Because I'm not one of their friends, so it doesn't matter who I am.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I think I could swing it. There's so many cameos. I'm trying to think of one from a movie. Who would I want to be in this movie? I mean, I could still be Apple Cart guy in this movie too, in a fast movie.
In New York City.
Yeah. I could be that guy who tries to turn on his car and then it drives away from him.
Yeah, I want to be guy in garage who's what happened to my car?
Yeah, that one's pretty fun. What about anybody? I'm trying to think of the cameos in this movie has cameos. They're pretty stupid, but and small roles. I'd love to be one of what's her name's one of Mama Shaw's. No, I want to be one of Mama Shaw's bodyguards. Just dress me up fully like a British guy in front of Buckingham Palace. Just keep him watch. What'd you like of her, or what'd you think of her? How'd you like her, Mama Shaw?
Fun enough. Yeah, Helen Mirren.
She's fine. I became very confused as to why she's in jail at the start of Hobbs and Shaw.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I'm confused.
The beginning of Hobbs and Shaw, the opening scene for Deckard is him visiting her in jail.
Oh, yeah.
So, why?
Why indeed?
Was this illegal? Maybe
right.
Dom dropped a dime on her as this ended to get himself even more immunities. Also, I can set you up with Master, whatever the fuck she is. I don't know. Street tough kind of Guy Ritchie character. If you want, that gets more immunity. It was pretty fun. I did like that. What's his name? Luke Evans, my favorite character, is back. I thought his line, speaking of humor, I thought his line was pretty funny. And he's like, "This is a pretty cool plane." And Decker's like, "Would you keep dying in these? Stop talking about planes." That's cute.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to do plane anymore.
He did get a big bird on his face from that time a plane exploded around him and then
my
he
God.
fell off into a million pieces.
Yeah, it's good that it was only his face, right?
Yeah.
Everything else totally fine. That hospital that his brother blew up must have done, like, really good for him after that. His brother's like, "Hey, you have a small brother, it's you." It's like they must have taken that, like, really seriously.
Wouldn't
They're
you?
like, nothing
You know?
will happen. We're going to make him much better. So that's good.
Yeah, it was good. Let's talk about the action scenes. Or wait, did we talk
Yeah.
about the rest of Dom's plan?
I can't remember. It works.
We got
His
most of
plan
it.
works.
Basically, his plan works, but it's really
Oh.
stupid because it relies on Cypher in no way monitoring any of his communications at any point for any reason.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, also the other thing, I guess I kind of mentioned this, but the brothers are back, and they're the ambulance drivers that pick up Deckard Shaw, and they get like 10 feet away from where they picked him up, and then immediately take off their like masks to reveal that they're those guys, which is fun for the movie audience to see them and go ha ha ha. But they are the most conspicuous looking SWAT hospital workers or whatever. I'm not sure what their job's supposed to be.
Right?
Because, yeah, they usually
Also,
don't wear
why?
riot gear to the ambulance.
Why did they need to be involved with, like, driving the ambulance? I guess because it wasn't actually an ambulance, and it was like a con. I guess, I don't know.
I mean, he needs an ambulance still. Might as well put him in an ambulance.
Well, it just needs the adrenaline thing. They could have done that in a van. There's nothing about the ambulance that's like, good thing we're in an ambulance.
That's true. Like
a van could have. They didn't call him an ambulance, I don't think. Like, it could have been a van that picked up his body. It's New York. No one's going to pay attention.
Yeah, also,
You know.
they picked up his body in an ambulance, and what did she not check? Was Cypher just like, that means he's dead? Wouldn't you be like,
right.
I'll Google it to see if he survived the bullets he took? Because the ambulance seemed to think he might.
She trusts Dom so much.
Yeah, he's a very trustworthy guy. How'd you think they dealt with the Elena thing?
I mean, it's convenient that she doesn't. There's no conflict for Dom. And it's like, only one of the women that I've ever been involved with is alive. Great.
Yeah.
That made this easier.
It feels, it's like the whole thing is just. I'm trying to put my thoughts together here. Basically, I think the way they treat her character is like insanely misogynistic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
really,
I mean,
really bad.
I don't disagree with that.
Not the way Dom treats her, just like the way the movie treats her.
Yeah.
Well, because Dom doesn't ask anything, but she would do anything for Dom. She's
just like
Dom
absurdly
is the
devoted to
greatest.
this dude. She's like to the point of like not even wanting to tell him that they have a son together because that would get in the way of him getting back together with his girlfriend who he didn't really seem to like that much until after she had amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then also, yeah, not only is she like insanely devoted to him, but then like is so deferential to him with the son. Is like didn't even give the child a first name because
Right?
Dom deserved to give. Like it's also your son, Elena. Like, what are you talking about?
But she's not a father, Diggins. It's the father who gives the name.
And it's
Does
like,
she
you
have
can- you
a
can
mother or something? Does she not have any family members?
And you can tell him, like, people can have kids without being in a relationship. Like, he can be the father to this kid without it meaning that the two of you have to get back together. And in fact, I'm sure he would prefer, as a person, being, knowing he has a child versus not knowing.
Also, Elena, if you're like, I want to wait for Dom to name the child, it's Brian. He's going to name it Brian. Duh. So just fucking go with that. Just take a wild guess. He's not subtle. It's either Brian or, like, Dodge or something, but
it's just...
It's Brian.
I mean, like, this happens all the time in movies. It's not like Fast and Furious is unique in this regard, but she exists solely to be a prop for Dom's pain and his arc in this movie. She has absolutely nothing going on internally to the point of literally not naming her child because Dom is the one who should do it. And it's just like, man, that sucks. That sucks.
I agree. I feel like it's almost worse in this specific situation because she was introduced in 5 as like a police officer, someone who was like part of or whatever. Fuck, I don't know. She was like local police, right? That's why he got her.
Yeah, her husband was killed by the cartel, and that was like her whole thing.
So it kind of seemed like either she would be his love interest, but also kind of his equal in some way, and she would be like a character in the franchise that mattered. And I don't know if we liked her, because I don't think there was that much to her originally, but it really does seem like Michelle Rodriguez showed up, and then she took the one girl spot, which meant that she had to go, which I guess Ramsey showed up, so that's another one, which, like, I mean, very progressive to have 2 women on the family, but still, like, it doesn't, there was never any reason why she wasn't in these movies, besides just, like, the movies weirdly decided she wasn't. I don't get it.
Yeah, like, why was she brought on to be sidelined? Like, that's a very weird choice.
I mean, maybe the actor just didn't want to do it anymore, which, you know, can't blame you. But it is crazy specifically that they took that character that seems like a character with more agency than most of these characters in this movie and then turned her into the hostage. I mean, she did get a "this is for Elena" moment where he killed a guy and was like,
that's true.
Everything's cool.
And at the end she goes, "I'll be the dad, Elena. Don't worry."
So what you're saying is it's okay because at least Dom got to have a cool scene because of her.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
She's up in heaven or whatever, looking down and being like, this was all worth it because he killed a guy and said my name afterwards. And then she saluted the military because they did the right thing probably also. I think we're close to finish talking about this movie, except I don't think we've really touched on the big action sequences enough. Because they are interesting. There's not a ton of them, which I thought was surprising. Looking back at, like, I think this movie has weird pacing.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
But I think my problem with it is I go in my head, I go, what are the big action scenes? It's like, all right, there's the one in New York, there's a submarine, and then, like, well, I guess what else? Oh, there's Cuba. And that's like in the very beginning. Well, and then my brain's like, I guess that's it, right? Those are all the scenes. And then I'm like, oh no, there's a bunch of other action scenes that are just fist fights that aren't car stuff. So yeah, you have the jail. You have, I'm going to say there's another one somewhere in there. It's like a hand-to-hand fight scene, but I can't remember what it is. I might just imagine it. But, yeah, the once you get past Cuba, there's a while where there isn't any car stuff that happens. The scene with Dom and the family in New York is like more than halfway through the movie. Or something like that. It takes a really long time.
Yeah.
I guess the other one that I was forgetting was the one where they're like just driving around in the wrecking ball is part of it.
I would barely call that an action scene. It's really just the wrecking ball, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. What do you guys think of the New York? There's a lot that went on in the New York bit.
Yeah,
First it was zombie cars, and then it was the car chase with the tethers.
I thought the zombie cars was, like, too weak. Because, like you said, Nando, it's like, if you're going to give the villain that ability, then nothing else she does matters. Like, she wins, right? I can kill all your world leaders. Like, why didn't she take over control of the car with the Russian diplomats in it and drive them to her front doorstep, right? Like, why are we, like, it has to be this weird, like, every other car without a main character in it. Watch out. So I didn't love that part. More of a miss for me.
What about you, Diggins?
What was the question again?
What do you think of the New York bit? The bit in New York where they did all the stuff, the action scenes.
I thought the part where she makes the cars fall out of the windows and onto the other cars was pretty cool.
I liked some of it. I liked the bit where the cars fell off of the thing. I think the bit that lost me, I remember it, was the bit that's World War Z, where all the cars came around the corner real quick in a humongous, like, CGI mess. But I did think there were some fun shots from the car's perspective as they, like, tumbled off of the parking garage or whatever onto the ground below. What'd you think of Dom's cool new outfit? Ooh. He's the Punisher now.
He's like a terrorist or something. Oh,
Yeah. Was
the
that
world of terrorism that he's been seduced into?
Do you think that was supposed to be like a reveal or something?
Well, I think that was him not filming the movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably what it was.
As much as he can do to not film the movie, he was all about that. Oh my
Yeah, it
God.
makes sense, too, because even during most of the big fights, like the big finale, he's just sitting around, you know?
Yeah.
Even though he could be up to stuff, he could be, like, doing some cool racing bit or interacting with another main character, but he's just sitting.
Well, you have to understand, he's really mad that The Rock ruined the integrity of the Fast and Furious franchise by agreeing to do a spin-off. How is he supposed to work under these conditions?
That's fair.
Right.
I also thought, so the bit where they all spear hook him with their giant hooks, first of all, I thought it was so funny that those were all just part of the cars. Like, it's almost like any time a Fast member gets in a car now, it will have one of those, like, by default. You know, they didn't bring their cars. They fit all of those into the cars just in case they needed to hook something. It's wild. But the bit where they caught him with the thingies, that was kind of cool.
Also, what was their plan? So at one point, they all have him speared.
Yeah.
But it was like stalemate. Like, what? Now what? Right? Like, I didn't know what their plan was.
You figure, like, someone would run up to him at that point because he can't move.
Or like have there be a little electrical thingies in the car or something. Or spears that shut down the car. I don't know.
Maybe those hockey pucks
Tase
from
'em.
previous movies.
Yeah, why'd they have those?
Remember when they've all caught him and they're all going backwards, like trying to keep him under control. And he's like, his car is making off, their car's not able to do that. And one of the characters says, like, he's got like 2,000 horsepower on that thing. And then I think The Rock's like, no, 3. And then Jason Statham's like, no, 5. And I'm like, that's the fastest car that ever was then. 5,000 horsepower, like, doesn't exist. Outside of, like,
it's true.
That Formula 1
like,
maybe, but, like, that's so much.
And, like, a tank.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's needed to drive a tank.
And also, if you're both pulling him from different directions, his car's gonna rip in half or something. Like, it doesn't... He's just pulling in one direction. His car... Dom's car is in one direction, right? Why aren't we... Yeah. Why do we have a guy in the left and right?
Well, they do. Right, they
right, but what's their job? Make sure his car doesn't, like, juke left out of nowhere?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, it is another product of just, like, I can't figure out what they're up to here.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure how Dom got out of that. Like, what did he do? His car's no longer moving, and it can't move because it's being pulled in multiple directions. But this is another one of those things where it's like any car that Dom gets in becomes like the densest car on Earth because it can drag giant safes, other cars, like any amount of weight whatsoever with no difference made to its speed at all.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what he did because I wonder if, like, someone's done this, like, done the physics behind this bit specifically. Not to prove that it doesn't make sense, but just to figure out what it's supposed to be. Because he does, like, I want to say he, like, throws it in reverse, and that makes Tyrese's car fuck up somehow and flip over, and then he's kind of free. Yeah, I don't know.
It's very silly.
If only he had a big, giant saw in his car that he could use to cut one of the ropes, you know?
Yeah.
If only.
Like,
what happens when you shoot the spear hook thingy into his car? Like,
what does
it grab onto? The door? Then the door comes off.
Exactly, and that happens later.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the doors, but yeah, his car should have just been, like, torn to pieces. And at that point, just trank him or something. Like, he's not The Rock. He probably could be stopped with a rubber bullet.
Not if he's in a car, he can't. But yeah, pop his tires or something, shoot him out. That's usually the way the police deal with this. Like, it's so funny how a spike strip would just destroy this entire thing. Like, they're done. Throw some tacks on the road. The family is all behind bars. But then there's the other fight scene, or the other big action scene, which is the one with the whole big submarine, whatever. It's humongous. It's so long. Can can either of you explain what this is?
Oh God. Like by it, do you mean the submarine?
No, like, okay, so the characters are all going to steal the sub, or like Dom goes to steal the sub from this base by himself with this EMP car. They have to charge up like it's his fucking like ultimate ability in Overwatch, and he gets it. He uses it.
60-second cooldown.
Yeah, it's like he's looking at it like 99%. And I'm like, dude, I've been there. You want to use it, you're gonna rush, and then you're gonna accidentally get. It's not worth it. But then he steals the submarine, like gives her control of it, and she starts driving it away. But then the family has to go and like take it from her or something. Like, what are they up to?
So okay, okay. So for whatever reason, Cyber's like, I want to launch a nuke. So they do like a 2-pronged attack, right? The family decides to like get onto the sub and pull the firing pins or like the detonators for the nukes,
Right.
Which, like, fine, whatever. And Cypher goes to like hack her out of the ability to like do her hacking nonsense. It's so unclear, like at the end, like what is actually happening. It's just like action scene, like, bang bang bang, chase scene, vroom vroom vroom.
So at first, they're trying to get the nuclear arming chip, or whatever you want to call it, that makes it so that the nuke can go off. Which, you guys said that she doesn't want to launch the nuke. That's what she's doing here. She's launching the nuke.
I don't know.
Well, she does a countdown and everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought it was like so that she could do it later, but maybe she does want to shoot it.
Well, now she's like, fuck it, I want to launch a nuke. I want to be cool. That was always the...
No, I'm convinced right now. That was always the plan, was to launch a nuke so that governments are afraid.
But why?
And at which one?
And at who?
Because shut up! Anyway, so Ramsey is like counter-hacking her hack. They're doing a big hacker battle.
Ace is the fucking worst
for control of the sub, which Ramsey eventually loses, but they do get the nuclear arming chip, so the nukes can no longer be armed. Then she's just trying to remote pilot the sub to like get away, so that they can just go pick it up later and try to rearm it themselves, I guess. And so then the plan is they want to go activate a lock on like the one bay out of this, the one like waterway out of this bay that they're in, so that if they go and lock it, then the sub is trapped.
Right.
Which, by the way, I'm like 90% sure you can't just like remote pilot a submarine. Like, I think you need like dozens and dozens of people to fucking operate a nuclear submarine.
Oh, you can if you're the world's greatest hacker, DJ.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I
didn't think you just like the cars, sure, whatever. That like self-driving cars, like it's a thing. But like I think you need like teams of people to operate a nuclear submarine.
What if that's what happened? They were like, "You've got control of the submarine," and she was like, "Good, let's drive it out of the thing." And they were like, "Okay, this isn't what do you want to do with the reactor?" And she's like, "Oh God, I don't know how submarines work." Is there
it's like it moves in 3 dimensions. Also, it's like very complicated.
Oh my God. Well, okay, I do want to touch on might be the worst joke of this movie, because it's around this bit. So, like always, for some reason, this plan rests upon the shoulders of Roman, and at this point, little nobody, they are inside of the submarine at one point before it is launched.
They are in the submarine together. Yeah.
And they are in, like, the, control room trying to figure out how to get the arming thingy out of the submarine. And Tej, over the, comms is like, okay, guys, I need you to find something that says, whatever, arming button. And they don't speak Russian, even though Mr. Nobody maybe should. That seems like part of the skill set of his job.
Right?
Yeah.
You mean Little Nobody.
Or Little Nobody, yeah. But I guess he doesn't even know how to be cool, so, like, why would he even know Russian? This is, like, his second day. But Tyrese looks at a big string of Russian letters, and I feel like the way this joke usually works would work in a movie like this, is he would go, it's got one that looks like a table, and then one that looks like a high five, and then he describe the letters visually. But instead, Tyrese's guy just goes, it says, shushmega shushamash meshmongen. Is that anything? And it's like, how dumb is this guy? Does he think he can kind of read Russian, but not? Does he think he can only pronounce Russian, but doesn't know what any of the words are? Or is he just fucking with Tej at that point? Like, I don't know. I don't know what I do feel like these movies, they haven't outgrown Roman, because, God, they need him. But I think
it's true.
Every other member of the crew, their skill set has risen to the level of whatever the thing is. Like, Tej can hack kind of well, and then when it's really important, now he can hack really, really well. And Roman never did that. He never got any expertise that justified him being there. Although he does get a moment where he does shooting very good here.
He's the sharpshooter now. I thought that was so interesting. Number 11, my ass, which was a fun line.
That was fun. That bit where he's not on the list, that's fun. That's classic Roman.
He's not Interpol top 10 criminal. He's top 11. So
yeah, but yeah. So they.
I also like the idea that Interpol's really ranking him. It's like, all right, well, we got to put Ramses at 10. Roman, Roman's probably 11. Yeah, we can't give Roman the mad props. So yeah, this is probably appropriate. All right, good Interpol ranking criminals, everybody. All right, break.
What if they had that ranking done and Mr. Nobody was like, you got to put Roman below the others, otherwise it won't be fun. And they're like, all right, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We're still gonna try to get him. So as long as they're on the list. But then the end is like they're chasing the submarine and trying to get out for this door. Submarine is chasing them. Also, the Separatists have a bunch of like cool, like trucks and with big giant missile launchers on them. Dom is waiting patiently for something. He doesn't know what to happen. Not he doesn't know what, but we don't know what. I do think it's insane, speaking of the Roman problem, that this movie, like, one of the gags of the movie is everyone lets Roman bring a car to this. They'll get him killed. They're all just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's watch Roman die in his Lamborghini. Like,
it's like, and they don't let him use it when, like, it would have been acceptable.
Right.
But now when it's not acceptable, it's like, yeah, Roman, have some fun. We're all having fun trying to stave off, like, a nuclear war. We're having fun.
Also, an orange Lamborghini in New York sticks out. A white and red Bentley in New York also sticks out. Like, it's not like they give him a Ford Taurus with souped up whatever. They give him another weird supercar.
Also, like, no car drives super well on ice that isn't specifically designed for it. It's not a thing cars are meant to do. So it's not like
chain tires.
Yeah, which actually you'll notice all the villains do have, but none of the heroes. So it's like, yeah, his car isn't good for this, but none of yours are. He's not like significantly worse than the rest of you.
Yeah. Also, I understand bringing whatever you called it, the ripsaw, is that what it's called?
Yeah, ripsaw. Yeah.
I understand transporting that all the way to Russia for this. I don't think it's that. Why don't you just get cars that are in Russia? Did they took all these cars from New York, put them onto an airplane, and flew them out there, including the Lamborghini they knew wouldn't work? Like,
yeah, why not?
I guess if it's a big enough plane, you might as well. Also, Letty's car is from fucking Speed Racer. Hers can do a cool jump.
Oh, yeah.
Where did we get these? That's awesome. This would be fun in a future movie. I'm sure we're never going to get them again, but I like the idea that they have jumpy cars. That's fun.
Do you think that she could jump up with her car, and as it's flying through the air, she punches a bad guy in the jaw, and that causes his car to, like, flip out of control?
I mean, if they went that far, yeah, that would be... Her character has about as much personality in these as Racer X does in that movie, so I don't think there's anything stopping her.
Wow, rare criticism of Speed Racer from Nando.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be mysterious, so it's fine. I mean, everybody in these movies, like, we don't know a fucking thing about any of these guys. We don't know what Letty does. We don't know what she likes. It's such a bad characterization.
We don't know her last name.
She's a girlfriend. She likes Dom, and that's all she has to like.
and cars. Like, fucking, man. They spend all this time with, like, Ludacris and Tej. They're the same character, with Ludacris and Tyrese's guy, going like, oh, she likes me because I'm cool and tough, and I'm the good hacker. She likes me. Have them argue about anything else. The Mets and the Yankees. It doesn't matter. Just give them something that makes them different from other characters in other movies. They're so boring. But it's fun to watch them do some things. But it just, like, stretches the limits of how much I give a shit. What's the most incredible thing that happens in this fight, in this race bit, in the ice?
Honestly, the fact that, like, going back to Letty's jumping thing, it's incredible that she doesn't just, like, run right into an iceberg and the car explodes. Like, it's because even from the POV, it's like, oh, she's definitely gonna die.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Like, they're acting like rough ice is just like smooth road, baby.
That Roman doesn't instantly die of hypothermia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually,
I love
he's
when
just like, it's cold.
Yeah, they're all listening to him die on the radio. Like, oh no, I didn't want to die in the water. Oh no, I'm dying in the water. And then they do save him, but it would be a funny end to that character. And then them explaining it to his family that we never see, but like maybe he's got one, like a mom, and they're like, what happened?
All the women on the plane from
the
6.
Nando, the thing is, they didn't save him because if you're in soaking wet clothes in the Arctic, you're going to die. It doesn't matter
fair.
if you get pulled out of the water. It's too late.
Well, he does, and he gets to get dragged for a while, too. Like, it's not like they put him in a nice warm car immediately. They leave him on the fucking thing to go. Yeah.
Speaking of Roman, we didn't mention how when they give him the brief, he's like, I'm out. Like the classic Roman, I'm out. He says it every movie.
That's true.
It's like, sorry, y'all, but I'm out.
And he knows that this is stupid, and it's fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that's so weird here is, not weird, but kind of funny. This is the bit where The Rock pushes a fucking surface-to-air missile or whatever that is, like, riding on the ice, just, like, kicks it in the other direction. Or torpedo, right, that's what it is, yeah.
From the submarine, he, like, because it's sliding on the ice, and he, like, navigates it to hit, like, one of the fucking, like, trucks. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And then Dom is friends with the family again. And they're like, good, he's good again.
Yeah, thank gosh. It would have been so tragic.
Also, we're all cool with Shaw now.
Well, okay, so I do think the scene where Shaw saves the baby is my favorite scene in this movie.
It's a very good scene.
I like the mugging. I like where it's like, who's got a smile? And then the baby smiles and he's like, there you go. Like, it's something, there's something about an actor in a movie like this, so like seeing it on a movie screen, just having the whole, like the entire frame be filled with his face making a goofy face is very funny to me. I'll always enjoy that. Also, the baby is cute and that helps, I guess. I don't understand why the guy's showing up on the plane. There's no button that she presses to kill the baby. There's a while where she knows the Shaws are on the plane and is still like, uh-oh, what am I supposed to do?
She has a bomb on the baby and, like, that's it, no more baby.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
how can he get in?
This is a thing about hostages, Nando. It's like, if she did have that button, like, what is she going to do? Like, she can't talk to Shaw. And
that's true.
Killing the baby doesn't do her any good because Dom is still off the leash then, and now he's even madder.
That's a good point.
The tiger's
but
neck.
as far as the, excuse me, TJ, you mean the cigarette stepping on the tiger's neck as you can't ever take your foot off.
I never stab anybody without looking them in the eye. There's a lot of Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto axioms in this movie that you would assume we've heard before but never have.
I think I would have liked the Shaw with the baby scene more if he started the scene by doing a goofy thing with the baby and ended the scene with doing a goofy thing with the baby and didn't keep interrupting the action scene to keep doing goofy things with the baby.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
I think that's what made it a little too corny for me.
Speaking of the baby, remember that part where the baby dies because Cypher blows the, like, blows the fucking door open on the plane, and the baby isn't attached to anything, and it weighs as much as a baby in a car seat does, and then it flies out with her because it's a small thing affected by the pressure change. Nah, it just like kind of lurches forward a little bit.
No, I will say
good.
a baby of that age, well, small, probably still weighs like 20 to 30 pounds.
I mean, that's light by comparison. That's like, what, a bowling ball? Like,
well,
come on.
and is a car seat, or like is whatever he's in technically a car? Because his Toretto blood would mean he is able to make that thing very dense.
That's true. That's true.
It's car-like. It has a seat. Maybe Vin
Diesel.
It
has the word car in its name.
Yeah, so that makes complete sense to me. Actually, and thank God Cypher returns for the next movie. She has a parachute. Cool.
By the way, she has no idea where she's parachuting over or to.
Yeah.
Also, it's like you can't launch the parachute from 10,000 feet.
Oh my God,
You
yeah.
jump from 10,000 feet, and then at some point, like, if you launch the parachute from 10,000 feet, you're going to just be, like, flying in the air, and you probably get, like, hit by a helicopter or plane or, like, some shit like that. Like, you definitely can't just launch that shit 10,000 feet up.
Yeah, I wonder what the statistics are on, like, if you just jumped jumped out of a helicopter or a plane or whatever from any point on Earth. What are the odds you will land somewhere where you would immediately die?
Well, you're probably going to hit water. That's the
right.
odds are you'll hit water.
Well, she's in the area, right? She's around where this is all going down. I imagine.
Is she though?
At least, I guess we don't know.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we have any indication, especially since the baby gets given back at the house. Like, I feel like they were pretty far. Although I guess where were they? I don't fucking know. But yeah. I mean, she should be dead, but she probably called more guys that she should have used then, but didn't, to help her before, and like they caught her.
She used her hacking skills to hack a UAV or drone.
Yeah.
To like pick her up.
Honestly, that's probably what happened. We'll probably see that in the next movie.
A little flashback.
Yeah, that could be how it starts, right? Just like her, how Cypher survived. I mean, who cares? But also, it's probably what it'll be. What else? What else about this movie? I don't know. I think Kurt Russell's kind of underused, but also, like, I don't know what his purpose is anymore.
I mean, he could have just been, instead of Little Nobody doing the briefing scenes, it could have been him.
Right?
And, it would have been more fun.
So this is Scott Eastwood's, Clint Eastwood's son. Do you think they just thought he would be the next big thing because he was in, like, a couple of rom-coms and, like, maybe would have been the next big thing?
Maybe they felt like they needed a Paul Walker type.
Yeah.
To the movie now that Paul Walker's gone. But
I think it's very possible.
But while he does successfully replicate Paul Walker's lack of charm, nowhere near as handsome.
Now, see, he has Scott Eastwood has such a, like, not bland, but he feels very, like, identical white guy kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying. He's nowhere near as handsome as Paul Walker.
Yeah. I did not care for his character here, but he did go cool. He went rogue and he broke the glass with the thing. It was like, we're taking all the cars.
You're super right. That was embarrassing.
It was so lame. It's such a... And I think part of it is him, honestly. I think his character, like, said it with, like, the amount of excitement that a child that gets to sit at the big kids table at, like, Thanksgiving's, like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Like, guys, we're gonna take all the cars. And I feel like you can maybe get away with that if it's a little bit more like, we're taking the fucking cars, then breaks the glass. But yeah, it's a weird read. Yeah, I don't know. This movie's I don't know. It's not my favorite. Where would you?
Right? I feel like middling's the fairest criticism.
Yeah, it's not a terrible movie, but I do think it stretches the limits of what a fun Fast and Furious movie is for me, past the point of, like, yes to no, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where do you rank it in among the Fast movies?
I think I have it, like, it's probably, like, dead center. It's probably, like, 4th or 5th for me.
I bet you, Diggs.
Oh my god, I don't even remember what my rankings are anymore. These all just blend together.
7 is your top, right? You love 7.
7, I did like 7, actually. 7 is probably number 1. I don't know. I mean, it has some Shaw and Hobbs stuff I enjoyed, so it's probably not, like, bottom of the list or anything, but I don't know. I guess since I enjoyed those bits, it might actually be closer to the top, but I still don't like it because I just don't like most of these movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I get that. See, I do like most of these movies, and I think this is the last one. I think this is dead last for me, and for all the reasons I already said. Yeah, I don't know.
Worse than 4 and 3?
I like 3 a lot. I think 3 is fun, and it's... I think 3
has this weird thing where the further away you get from it, you look back on it fondly, like, oh, Han, lots of cool stuff, and you just forget what a black hole of charisma the main character is, and how utterly painful it is to watch him do anything.
Yeah, man.
Yes, for sure, but also I think 3 has a lot of charm in that it's taking itself completely seriously, kind of. I think 1, 2, and 3, I think I enjoy 1. It's just like, it's a solid movie, it's fine. 2, I think I like mostly because of Tyrese, but I also think the interplay between him and Paul Walker is fun. But 3 gets that pass that's like, they were really going for it. This was not a parody of itself yet. This was just like a car racy action movie. 4, I think it's probably better than 4, maybe. But I don't know. I think there's something about 4 where it's a little bit... See, honestly, I think 4, just the Vin Diesel Paul Walker dynamic works for me. And this one, it doesn't. It doesn't have that. And I just think the family dynamic is really off. Yeah. I don't think the villain in 4 is much better than Cypher. And I don't think Gal Gadot's that much better either. I don't know. They might as well be tied. But next week, we'll know the final rankings. Or 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah, very exciting.
Until the new movies come out.
Yeah. Do you guys want to get to...
like...
What?
I'm sorry, just real quick. Do you think you'll like 9 more than 8?
How long is it?
Let's see.
3.5
Let
hours.
us see.
Is it really, though?
Imagine?
2.5 hours.
I made that up. I have no
Okay.
idea.
It's 2.5, yeah.
I probably won't. I'm guessing this isn't going to solve any of the problems that this new movie has, like that 8 had.
Justin Lin again. Does that do anything?
He did 7, not 6, right?
Yes.
See, I don't know, because we're going to do another one of these. This one's not going to have Shaw. This one's not going to have The Rock. The dynamic just feels like it's going to be really weird. I don't know. I might like this more than 8, but I worry. The writing, like the trending going down, and like kind of the writing is on the wall for this franchise for me, that I might need some sort of hard reset. Like, I think Hobbs and Shaw I don't like Hobbs and Shaw very much as a member of the Fast and Furious family, but I do think, like, it'd be so easy to just do fucking Han Origins or whatever, and just do a street racing movie set in the 2000s or whatever that movie's supposed to take place, and that'd be fun. Like, they need to get a little bit smaller for me, because I think there's something there.
Also, quick correction, James Wan did 7, Justin Lin did 3 through 6.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe that's what I want then.
Yeah, back to form.
6 is the best one, so maybe it'll be as good.
Yeah, so we'll see. Are there like, is there Rotten Tomatoes for it yet?
Yeah, but they're not. We won't talk about them.
They don't know. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Little something for everybody.
Yeah, I think we'll check back on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not horrible. I thought it was going to be like bad.
It's standard for this series. That's usually around.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty rough reviews. Like, I think this one has had, I feel like, a mixed reception compared to the other ones. Even beyond, I feel like I've heard a lot of critics say, I like the rest of these and I don't like this one,
that's interesting.
That's the part that I'm most curious about. I also just don't have a lot of faith in John Cena carrying this as the villain.
Okay.
But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe the magnet bit will be fun. The part where he does the car bungee jump is probably going to be really dumb, but it depends. It's a delicate balance this franchise has to strike.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Speaking of balancing, do you guys have anything to recommend to the fine people? I balanced that poorly. What you guys have to recommend? Classic segment. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Sure.
Do you? You don't. You could say no, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. We hung out this weekend.
It's never happened before, but you could just say no.
Well, I was like, what did I do this weekend? I was like, oh yeah, I hung out with Nando. That's true.
What I did
this weekend.
So
don't
we're
know if
gonna
you
wreck
watched any
hanging out with
shows.
Nando. Hanging out with Nando is this week's wreck.
I feel like there's got to be like a TV show you watched or a movie, video game.
Yeah, I started watching the new season of American Ninja Warrior, which is something I love, but I feel like is so hard for me to recommend. Actually, you know, I started watching on Netflix off of recommendations of a lot of people. I started watching Formula One on Netflix, the F1 show. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Is it like a drama or like it's just car racing?
It's like, it's so weird. It's like both. So it's called Formula One Drive to Survive, and it follows like the various pit crews who like are competing in Formula One. So it's a blend of like the racing, but like with the drama. Like kind of like Ford versus Ferrari feel, but not like the whole like we have to beat Ferrari. It's just like the drama of like being a Formula One racer and crew, and what are all the dynamics like that mixed with like Talladega Nights, but it's real, right? Like it's not like stage, like it's not like a reality show. It's a documentary, I guess is the best way to describe it. But it's like it's very interesting how they blend like the drama of the races and like the drama between the crews, because like some crews have beef. And that's, like, fun and, like, keys into all my trashy bullshit. But then, like, the actual races are, like, fun to watch. So, like, I would, like, tell people to give it a shot. It's never something I thought I would watch, but too many people have recommended it. So I'm like, all right, I guess I gotta watch this now. So I'm only in, like, 2 episodes. That's why I didn't want to, like, go hard on recommending it. But I like it so far. So, yeah, let's go with that. It's called F1 Drive to Survive. It's on Netflix.
Interesting. That's the first I've heard of this.
Yeah. I would recommend give it a shot. You know, I'm excited for this summer. So there's always like Bachelor in Paradise, which is like the it's like Bachelor but on an island. Apparently this summer HBO Max is gonna have a show called, I think it's F-Boy Island, and it's
I've heard of this. What is that?
So
those goddamn cowards.
Yeah.
I think it's like 3 girls and 24 guys, and like they're all vying for the girls' attentions, and it's 12 fuckboys and 12 like nice guys.
What does that mean?
I don't
It
know.
means that they're all fuckboys, but half of them pretend not to be.
Yeah, right? If they, like, is it like the fuckboys always tell the truth, or the nice guys always tell the truth, and the fuckboys always lie, and you have to figure out which door to go through at the end of the show? Like, I mean, I do like the idea of 3 people on an island, like 3 objects of affection,
like 3
as opposed to one. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense as part of the thing.
But apparently it's the creators are like the original producers of Bachelor in Paradise, who have since left to do this thing for HBO Max. So I think it'll be good. I don't know. It comes out this summer, but I'm pretty excited for it. So look out for me to wreck that. Oh, and it's being hosted by Nikki Glaser, and she's hilarious.
She is funny. I like Nikki Glaser.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good show. So yeah, look for me to wreck that when that comes out. I'm pretty stoked for that. So, but yeah, for my wreck this week, let's go with Hanging Out with Nando and F1 Drive to Survive.
Nice. Diggins, what about you? Do you have anything to recommend?
Yeah, I got a couple ones I can go through real quick. One was I went to see my second movie in a movie theater since the
my God,
since the pandemic started.
Incredible.
Which is I went to see In the Heights, the movie adaptation of Lin-Manuel Miranda's first hit Broadway musical. I really appreciated how cinematic it is, how much they very much have translated the musical to screen. It's very big and bombastic and loud, and it's got all these huge set piece dance numbers and musical scenes of people like dancing through the streets of New York. It's very big in a way I really like, and I think makes it well suited to being seen in a movie theater if you are vaccinated and feel comfortable doing that.
Were people dancing in the aisles and stuff?
No, there were only
God.
8 of us, and they were all quiet and respectful, and I had an incredible time at the movie theater, like I always do, because I am always respectful to every witch I meet.
I worry that Diggins is going to become so invested in having great theater experiences that he may overlook some negativity in the future to preserve his perfect score, you know? I want to
compensating.
Yeah, I feel like Diggins maybe they were dancing in the aisle and he was like, "This is perfect. I cannot. That's a
good point, Nano. Maybe it's just that I'm like chill and don't mind if a person makes a tiny noise, and you guys have no chill and just get frustrated and annoyed at any tiny little thing another person might do. That's also a possibility in addition to the witch's curse.
That's definitely part of it.
Well, Diggins, I'd like to ask you, since you saw it in the Heights, how did you feel about the lack of diversity in the Heights? Can I get your take on that?
I mean, listen, I don't know that I am qualified to talk about Afro-Latina representation. I understand why members of that community would be upset. It is definitely mostly on the lighter side of Latino people in this movie, which does not represent the full spectrum of the Latino community, and a movie that is supposed to be specifically about like that community in New York. I can understand why you would want to see yourself there and how it can be disappointing if you're not.
Look at Diggins avoiding all the minefields.
Right. Diggins, follow-up question. Isn't Lin-Manuel Miranda just like a theater kid? Doesn't he exhibit all of the traits the theater kids and all of the things? Doesn't he seem like he'd be a bit much, you know?
I mean, he's definitely a theater kid, Nando, but you know what? All 3 of us are theater kids, so why don't you get off your goddamn high horse?
But you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't think we're theater kids the same way. But also, here's my other thing. This is because you've watched the movie, so you know. DJ hasn't watched it yet. What's your opinion on the ice street ice vendors that Lin-Manuel Miranda's guy is?
The Piragüero?
Yeah.
They don't really exist in my neighborhood, so I've never really seen one. I don't know what else I'm being asked to have an opinion about here.
The movie bothers me. Here's how the movie bothers me. It sets this conflict between him and the ice cream man. And I'm like, you don't sell ice cream, dude. Maybe the kids just like ice cream. Why does it have to be this whole, like, oh, they're taking the neighborhood? Start selling ice cream then, buddy. You're pouring your disgusting syrup on all the kids' ice cream that they bought as if it's like, oh, kids, don't you want this? Like, no, maybe your product just isn't any good. I feel like, somehow Lin-Manuel Miranda managed to get the most annoying part in the movie.
Nando, according to Nando, all piragüeros should just pack it in. They're inherently worse than a Mr. Softy. Gentrify all of Washington Heights. All the Latino communities in New York City should be torn down and replaced with with laundromats and other businesses, banks and whatnot, because he can't stand the idea of them existing. This is what this is the stance Nando is taking.
Oh my goodness, Diggins.
Capitalism.
If he sold a couple of ice creams, like little,
Mr. Good Bar,
something like that, yeah, I'd have more sympathy for him. But I find his song in the movie, it's this very strange equivalency he sets up. Like, oh, they're taking my money. It's like, well, I guess if you think all the value you are bringing is I'm giving the children a cold thing, maybe it's not that simple, guy. Maybe it's not.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I think that movie is. I watched about half of it. I thought it was fine.
I watched all of it because I'm not a psychopath.
I just get bored. I don't know. I feel like it's an interesting movie because I liked all of it except for the Lin-Manuel Miranda insert, whatever that kid, the main kid, the one that I'm sure he played in the real version of it.
He did, in fact, play Usnavi in the
There you original. Go. Yes, Usnavi. I found his... I think maybe it's just I'm not a big fan of the Lin-Manuel Miranda rapping, but I feel like the other characters sing like Broadway songs, and then he does that like, my name's Usnavi, and I'm here in the house, and I don't know. Wow. Sounds like it's got that, like, I don't know, educational rap song vibe of like the 90s. I'm just saying, I don't know.
It is a master contrarian. He is phenomenal contrarian.
I am pretty good at it, but on the other side of that,
listen, I understand when people say that it's definitely not the most complex or like intricate rapping in the world. I mean, it's not. that's fair. But I don't know. I think it's still fun.
I think my problem with it is... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Nando. No,
I just to say, it's not that I don't like it. I think my problem is I find it hard to follow in the moment. Like I just feel like I'm missing stuff as the song is going on that I wouldn't miss in like any other Broadway song. That I get like, oh, you go back and listen to it and you'll enjoy it. But in the moment, I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting the full experience. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm not a good enough rap fan for Lin and his, stuff. Because he's clearly the most successful Broadway person in the world and everyone likes him. So who am I to judge?
Anyway, I also watched the Lupin show and it's pretty good. So that's my second rec.
Oh, yeah. They just put out the second season of that maybe or something?
Yeah. The second season just came out, I think, like last week.
Nice.
It's kind of a meta Lupin show. It's about a guy who was a big fan of the Arsène Lupin Gentleman Thief books growing up, and now he's like doing heists inspired by those books. So like the Arsène Lupin books exist in universe, and he is not named Lupin. But yeah, no, it's good. It's kind of like a combination. It's like a mystery show. He's kind of got like a central mystery regarding something that happened to his dad that he's trying to solve, but he solves that mystery by doing like the world's most ridiculous heists. So it's fun. It's very fun and very silly. And I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I'm not done. I watched the first season. I still need to watch the second season, but that's my second rec.
Nice. What do I have to recommend? I read a bunch of comics, obviously. New Static Shock came out today from the Milestone imprint. DC's rocking back. That's very exciting. Haven't read it yet. New Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Seems like fun. Nightwing's going well. X-Men stuff is good. I watched, like I said, watched half it in the Heights. I watched a lot of that show, Sweet Tooth. I feel like I'm like 8 episodes in. I don't know how many there are, but I don't hate it. It's fun. It's interesting. It's got this weird mix of like cartoonishness mixed with like real kind of griminess of an apocalypse-y show, and like just a story like The Road. They've definitely softened the narrative to be less terrible because the book is very sad. But as you get to more of some of the characters, I'm just like, that guy seems like he might be in like Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Like, it's weird that he's here, but then it's like, I don't know, what is the tone of this? It's kind of fun. I'm also reading for the Nando V Movies comic book club a book called Midnighter. Have either guys heard about him, the Midnighter?
Negative.
Nope.
So I believe he's part of the Wildstorm universe, which is a universe that was bought by DC and then kind of folded into their maybe not. Oh yeah, no, he is folded into their continuity now, so he's kind of a normal part of it, but I don't know if he is at this point in the story. I've only read the first couple of issues, but basically he is Batman, but he also has but he's not, so like he's a Batman figure in that he wears a lot of black and like fights crime at night and stuff. He's also one of the first openly gay superheroes or something. I don't know what the timeline is, but that's one of the things he's very well known for. And he's in a relationship with the comics with Apollo, who is the Superman of the Wildstorm universe. Although in the book I'm reading, they're like broken up or something. And he's also a lunatic, like Moon Knight kind of, where he's just super, like he has a chip in his head that lets him calculate everything, and he's got all kinds of like acrobatic skills and stuff. So you go into a room with him with a gun and he's already figured out a million ways to snap your neck, and he doesn't care about you, so he'll totally do it. So it's kind of an interesting character. I think the series I'm reading is by Steve Orlando, and he's good. It's an interesting character. Besides that, I don't think I've got anything else new either. There's no new shows or movies that I've been into. Although I did promise a friend that I'm going to watch The Bad Batch, because he says it's really good. And I believe him. And I believed you guys, like DJ and other friends, when they told me. But he gave me the pitch where it wasn't as much about them as about like the rest of the Empire and stuff, and that I do find interesting. So I don't know how far we're into it, but I'm definitely going to...
It's got your boy Tarkin.
I know, and that I do like that, although I worry that they overuse him. I'm worried that they have done that, but I'm always like, one of the things I really like about him is he was never a big figure. He was a big, like, he came, knocked it out of the park, and then exploded, and that was it. But I think they've used him sparingly enough that I don't mind it so much. But yeah, maybe watching that. And obviously Loki, episode 2, season 1 is good. But you guys haven't seen that yet, so we'll not spoil it. Yeah, anybody have anything to plug?
Check out Roses and Rejections on the Pop Break TV network. Also, Michelle and I will be on the Pop Break TV break to talk about episode 2 of Loki.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Check that out on the Pop Break TV feed, so you can hear us talk about either The Bachelorette or Loki, whichever you guys prefer.
Cool. Diggins?
That's all I got.
Just the usual. You can see my newsletter, A Little Perspective, at alittleperspective.substack.com, or I stream Disco Elysium on Twitch at twitch.tv/thisisanodname. Probably going to do another one this Saturday, so you can come check that out. Yeah, that's all.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've got videos coming out and stuff, the normal. I was using my Twitch a little bit this week to stream. I did like a ranking of the villains in Marvel movies based on their plans and how good I thought they were. So I did that on Twitch the other day, and I'm trying to
just
turn
like
it into a movie.
90% of them were bottom tier.
Yeah, so it's interesting. There are 5 tiers. One being like they don't really have a plan; they're just like a henchman. And then there was great plan, fine plan, not a great plan, and disaster. To fall into disaster, you usually had to be killed and like usurped as part of the plan. So like Strucker from Avengers Age of Ultron or Claw in Black Panther, that is a disaster plan. Ronan from Guardians, also disaster. To get into not a great plan was easily the most. The great plans or fine plans were guys that had like a plan where it's like, it worked. Didn't make a lot of sense, but it worked. Or like they had a really good plan that they fucked up by doing one thing wrong. So like Killmonger, I think, has a fine plan where he does everything right except for killing T'Challa in front of him, like just cutting his head off. I can't blame him for it. And then only a few like really fine, this is a great or like really good plan where either they won by their own terms or they pretty much did. And yeah, it was not the ones I expected when I went into it, except for Zemo. I knew he would be a great plan because at the end of all his movies, he goes, "That was a great plan. I did win, actually." So hard to argue with that. But
hard to argue with a man who lies broken on the floor, shouting, "You didn't win! You didn't win!"
Yeah, it's pretty much. I mean, he's great, and I think. I wanted to find like a flaw in his plan, but his plans are so stupid in the movie that it's the same. Like a lot of these guys have plans where it's like, that's just 50 coincidences strung together. And his is that, but also it just kind of works. And he always gets what he wants, regardless of how stupid the actual plan was. Whereas there are a lot of other guys who have these coincidence plans and they still don't get what they want. It's like, kind of like Mysterio's one of those where it's like your plan is insane. It's crazy that it went this far, but because you did end up failing, you don't get a great plan. Anyway, I'm editing a smaller version of that video down on to put on YouTube probably. So that'll be fun. And besides that, not much else. Yeah, what are we doing next week, fellas?
Are we gonna in fact do Spy Kids 3D? And fulfill our
the prophecy.
I don't see why not. There's some racing in that, I think. Let's say there's like a car racing level.
There's Sylvester Stallone who has about the level of clarity speaking as Vin Diesel does.
Oh my god, but he's amazing in this one. Do you remember what he does in this version of it or in this movie?
It's been so long, I don't really remember.
Oh, he's very fun in this movie. I think overall, I've looked back on this one very fondly. I do think 3D glasses are probably helpful, but I also think you'll probably get it without them. Although I don't even know if you can find the 3D version anymore. I don't know how they do that, but yeah, I think that's a good call. We'll do Spy Kids 3D next week, and then after that, we'll do F9.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Until then, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.